ahead of his meeting with President Donald Trump. When asked by a reporter on Thursday what her expectations were for the meeting, the Congresswoman said, "We'll see. Obviously, the mayor-elect is going to be preparing for his inauguration," she said. "Of course, he's indicated he's willing to sit down with anybody and everybody, so we'll see." The Trump administration's 28-point draft proposal to finally end Russia's invasion into Ukraine would require Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's government to make significant concessions, but also includes NATO-style security guarantees for Ukraine, according to a senior U.S. official. The plan, which is still a draft and could change, was presented in Kiev earlier on Thursday. The plan was drafted by Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff with input from our Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The White House press secretary and a senior U.S. administration official confirmed on Thursday. The plan would force Kiev to give up additional territory in the east, cap the size of its military, and agree it will never join NATO. Our quote of the day: "All blessings come to us through the Lord. He will teach us, for in beholding his life we find that he is the best example." Teresa of Avila. Coming up, our saint of the day. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Capuchin Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com. Only the Crusade Channel brings you the Saint of the Day read by actual nuns.
Really? Our sisters are actual sisters?
Yes, and you can catch their heavenly voices announcing the Saint of the Day on the Crusade Channel.
Oh, you boomers and your live broadcasts. I'm a busy girl. Sure, I'm very important only in my own mind, but can I get them as podcasts?
I'm not a boomer. And yes, all Saint of the Day recordings are available as mini podcasts on our app and at crusadechannel.com.
I see saintly binge listening in my future. I feel holier already.
Our saint of the day, November 21st, is the feast of the presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the temple. The day commemorates the tradition that the young Mary was dedicated to God by her parents. It is the day on which Mary, while still a child, was brought to the temple in Jerusalem to be offered to God. It emphasizes the total gift Mary made of herself by listening. Blessed are those who hear the word of God and observe it. The experience prepared her from Nazareth to become the temple of the Son of God. The celebration of this feast dates back to the 6th century in the East with the dedication of the Basilica of St. Mary. A former aide to Representative Jeff Van Drew, a Republican from New Jersey, was charged with faking a political attack that prosecutors say included lacerations and writing on her body. Natalie Green, 26, of Ocean City, made an initial court appearance on Wednesday on one count of conspiracy to convey false statements and hoaxes, and one count of making false statements to federal law enforcement following the alleged incident in Egg Harbor Township over the summer. Late at night on July 23, 2025, Green's co-conspirator called 911 and reported that she and Green had been attacked by 3 men when they were out walking on a trail at a nature preserve in Egg Harbor Township, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Jersey said in a statement. According to the co-conspirator, during the attack, the men had called Green by name and had specifically referenced her employment with Federal Official 1, who's an individual whose identity is known to the government. When the law enforcement officers located Green, she was lying in a wooded area just off the trail with her hands and feet bound together with black zip ties, with numerous lacerations and derogatory terms towards Trump supporters written on her. Green was crying and yelling that one of her alleged attackers had a gun. While not clear why she made up the hoax, it is clear that it was in an effort to push political tensions across the country, and primarily on social media. You're listening to Crusade Channel News, seeking news and finding truth.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your 2 oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The Story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivery, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
The Power of the Rosary by Gabriel Castillo, a book that's more than informative, it's contagious.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app. For 9 years now, Brother Andre Marie's Reconquest has been your source for best in Catholic philosophy, history, and saints.
Well, I'm the new gal at this monastery, and Jiminy Christmas, after 4 years of auto pens, social media heresy, I could use some Catholic philosophy.
Well, call yourself a blessed girl, because new episodes debut Wednesdays at 8 Central, and there's over 475 podcasts available on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and educational radio.
The way it should be.
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
The Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops?
Yes.
Water? Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay, look, the plants aren't growing, so I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Oh, well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem. I want to get my pardon, so why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
I want everybody to remember the term, the event, the Whiskey Rebellion. Remember that. There will be a quiz after the program. Greetings to you. It's a Friday, Free Phone Friday. Today's the Feast of the Presentation. Big, big day. Mike Church Show, we are live, talk radio the way it ought to be. Asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you.
And remember, Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, you know, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
It's Free Phone.
Yes, sir. It's a free phone Friday. Yay! They are charged with the task of picking the telephone up, dialing the number 844-527-872-TWA. 844-5-CRUSADE. Email address KingDude@MikeChurch.com. KingDude@MikeChurch.com. Crusader Stadium chat room in its 15th year now. We're in our 10th year, day 8. At crusadechannel.com/chat. There's a piece that was written by a historian named Wythe Holt. Wythe Holt wrote this. It's opening now. It's coming through now, Con. Let me get a date on this. When did Wythe write this? I want to say it was 10 years ago, 15, that's 2024. I think it was like 2009, 2008. In any event, Chris Ferrara quotes it heavily in Liberty, the God That Failed. The Whiskey Rebellion of 1794, a democratic working class insurrection. Tattoo the term insurrection on your forehead, Mr. Lebowski. The Whiskey Rebellion of 1794, a democratic working class insurrection. 1794, all the founding fathers are still alive. Every man that signed the Constitution is still alive. Every man that voted for the ratification of the Constitution is still alive. Many of them are members of the House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, some of the war heroes, Henry Knox, for example, is Secretary of War. Alexander Hamilton, who's but a babe. He's in his early 30s. Hamilton is Treasury Secretary. Adams is Vice President. The men that had a hand in writing the Constitution and in ratifying it are a lot. James Wilson is a Supreme Court Justice. He led the Pennsylvania delegation to the Federal Convention. He led the ratification effort in Pennsylvania. He's on the Supreme Court now. They're all still alive, is my point. So why do I bring that up? Did the tax collectors in Western Pennsylvania obey a licit order? This is the question here. No other member of the talk radio mafia is going to ask it because they don't know the story, and if they did, they think you don't. You'd be bored. Thank you, Ms. O'Connell, greatest radio producer in the history of radio producers, and a pal. When you need coffee and water, right there, Thanos snap. She is on it. In 1791, the Congress used its authority under Article 1, Section 8 to pass what was called the whiskey tax. It was not very popular. Now, if you go to the Mount Vernon, by the way, in matters like this, I'm just going to say again, I really should make a donation and talk about them more often. If you have questions about anything that has anything to do with George Washington, you can get my book, Life of Washington, Volume 1. That's fine. It's great. Washington Irving wrote it. I put it back into print. Covers Washington's early life all the way up until 1776. But if you have any questions about Washington, go to mountvernon.org. The Mount Vernon Ladies Association is one of the greatest American entities alive. I love those women. I love them. I love them. I love them. They're historians. They're patriots. They're wonderful Southern ladies, and they don't take any crap off anyone. They refuse federal money, and they run Mount Vernon on their own. They refuse federal money so they could do stuff like this. There's a good history of the Whiskey Rebellion on the Mount Vernon website. I'm going to refer you to it if you want to read it, because it's a good review. What basically happened is the United States was broke. Hamilton came up with the idea, well, who can we tax? And somebody said, well, they got a lot of whiskey people, a lot of whiskey distillers in western Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and other parts of the new union. Tax them. Many of the people that were taxed were pretty well-to-do, and they were able to pay the tax, but it was a little guy that got clobbered by this. And so they didn't think that they should have to pay the tax. And so they didn't. They basically said, we're not going to pay it. And they didn't pay the tax. So the news basically arrives at Mount Vernon that Western Pennsylvanians aren't paying their fair share, shall we say. And in 1791, this is known, Washington, to his credit, says, well, I'm going to work this out peacefully with them. So he writes a proclamation. And he says, basically, all that are in disobedience of this order, it's a lawful order, you need to pay the tax, and they were threatening to burn the houses of the tax collectors down and what have you. This is all very related to what Slotkin and Kelly and the other traitors just did. If you're wondering where in the hell I'm going with this, this is where this is ultimately going to wind up. It is back at the coup. This is a coup. This is an attempted coup. People that attempt coups, if you fail, you ought to be tried. Trump's right. He ought to be arrested. I hope someone in the Injustice Department is preparing some kind of a charge against these 6 clowns. You can't tolerate this. And George Washington didn't tolerate it from peasants. This is the most magnanimous or the magnificent thing about it, is that Washington was like, He tried peace. He was very Trumpian, by the way. Washington said no, because Hamilton kept saying, let's get an army. We'll put an army together and we'll go do it. But Washington, for 2 years, was writing letters and appealing to the Western Pennsylvania farmers to stand down, basically. And so finally, in 1794, after sending lawful, I want you to pay very attention to this, lawful orders to the tax collectors to tell them, no, collect the tax. They have to pay it. Tell them if they don't pay it, we're going to have to send troops in. Does this sound familiar? And what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with, in this instance, American citizens, Western Pennsylvania farmers who are pretty poor. You're dealing with the Congress passes an act. They send it to the president, to the commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief signs it, goes, okay, yep, I agree. The tax is ordered. Most people pay it, but you have a band of poor farmers who don't want to pay it. Washington tries for almost 3 years to peacefully negotiate the settlement and to say, come on, guys, just pay the tax, dude. Finally, they won't pay the tax, and at Hamilton's urging, they put an army together, 12,295 militiamen. Guess who was riding at the front of the army? George Washington. So the commander-in-chief is leading an army against the revolting peasants, or the revolting poor farmers, I shouldn't call them peasants, poor farmers of Western Pennsylvania. Let's follow the chain of command. Congress passes an act. President signed it. It goes into effect. Tax collectors are deputized and appointed. They are employees of the new federal government of the United States. Just pretend they're ICE agents. They're sent to Western Pennsylvania, among other places. They go knocking farm to farm to collect. They literally make a personal appearance. They go basically door to door to collect, to take an inventory, basically like the revenuers did during Prohibition, to take an inventory and then to assess the tax and then to collect the tax. The Pennsylvania farmers are refusing to pay. At every step of the way, all of the laws have been followed. But the people of Western Pennsylvania in the Whiskey Rebellion do not think that a lawful order has been issued. This is the key point. They don't think that the new Congress should have passed the tax. And now they don't think that the commander-in-chief, who many of them served under in the Continental Army, should be enforcing the law. They think that the tax collectors are carrying out, pay very close attention. They think that the tax collectors are carrying out illicit orders that are illegal. So the tax collectors, one of their houses is burned down. Others are being chased and harassed. Now, you can say what you want about tax collectors. I get it. Understand the circumstance here. This is identical to what just happened. So let's look to our first commander-in-chief for maybe a little guidance on what happened. He called up his Secretary of War, Henry Knox. He said, raise me an army. Knox raised him an army. He called to Hamilton. He goes, it's just going to be like the good old days. You're going to be with the artillery. I'm going to lead. Knox is going to handle all the other orders and what have you. They mount horses and they ride from New York, because this time the capital is in New York, from New York to Western Pennsylvania. And what does Washington charge them as? Insurrectionists. He says they're traitors, basically. 400 and some odd, you can read it in Wyatt Holt's essays, 400 and some odd of them are captured. They are charged with basically with sedition. They are basically court-martialed, and they are all sentenced to hang. Did anyone know this is American history? True story. In his magnanimity, the father of our country, George Washington, pulls a trump and pardons all of them. And he says, now, will you please obey the law? And they did. Ultimately, Congress repealed the whiskey tax, and it was over. Does everyone listening right now to the Mike Church Show understand what I just explained to you? There is a chain of command, FA and FO. You start messing around with this stuff, Miss Slotkin. Oh, this witch. This witch. I would pay for a ticket to watch this trial. You don't even have to ask me twice. I'll volunteer to go.
Pay-per-view, I'd pay $200.
What they have done is sedition. Now, let me take you to the Second Continental Congress, shall we? We shall. Maggie, you can grab it off my Twitter, the image. In the Second Continental Congress, there is a meeting in January, and it is determined that they believe that there is probably going to be, there's a good chance negotiations with King George III aren't going to go the way everyone thinks that they're going to go, and there's a very good chance that a war may be the result. So what do patriots of sound mind and body who are responsible and answer to constituents and what have you, what do? They say, let's have a convention. This is, okay, undershot the year a little bit. Journals of the Continental Congress, Articles of War. They had a meeting. It was in secret. The doors were closed. No one was allowed in. Delegates were sworn to secrecy. By the way, did you know that all the delegates, this is in my movie, The Pages of Independence, did you know that all the delegates to the Second Continental Congress and all the way to the end of the Articles of Confederation were sworn to secrecy? Certainly during the tumultuous years of 75 through 81, you had to take a vow. If you walked into Independence Hall and you sat in the Congress, First or Second Continental Congress, then in the Confederation Congress later, if you sat in that Congress, you swore an oath to secrecy. You weren't going to leak anything to the whatever version of the New York Times that they had then. You didn't tell your wife. You didn't tell your Uncle Bobo. The proceedings that went on in the Congress were secret, and for very good reason, because they didn't want it getting out what they were doing, because if it had, then the British would know who to go after and charge for, guess what? Treason. They already had a pretty good idea. June the 30th, 1775, Journals of the Continental Congress, Articles of War. So the Founding Fathers, again, we're talking about that august generation. Hey, leftard, don't lecture me about the Founding Fathers. You don't know what you're talking about. Sit down and shut up. The Congress met according to adjournment. The consideration of the Articles of War being resumed. Congress agreed to the same. They voted unanimously. And there are, how many articles is this? There LXIX, so that's 69. 69 articles of war. This is basically the first UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice, basically, of the then nascent United States. Every UCMJ or Article of War or Code of Military Conduct that has come afterward has come basically from this document. Okay, so don't tell me what sedition is and what it isn't, and don't tell me that what they did is not sedition, and don't tell me that the commander-in-chief now he may not do it. He almost has a duty to have them arrested and to have them court-martialed. Let the court determine. Article 5. This is very early on, notice, in the Articles of War. The Founding Fathers wish to make it abundantly open and clear. Article 5, quote, any officer or soldier. Now, let's take officer and let's use the Constitution and the current understanding that a member of Congress is a constitutional officer. They take the exact same oath you took, Kaiser, or the rest of you that served in the military, to uphold, protect, and defend the U.S. Constitution. The oaths are the same. So just because it says officer, we're talking about the military, it extends. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Or a candy bar. But this new 3M
is the freshest spin on true crime shows since dinosaurs were solving cold cases with fossil evidence. Yeah, it's that original, folks.
Mom's Murders and Mysteries. New episodes debut every Tuesday night, 6:30 East, 4 West, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Live talk podcast radio, the way it should be.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your two oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read
The Story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivering, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
Flee from Heresy, from the one and only Bishop Athanasius Snyder, a Catholic guide to ancient and modern errors.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
Hello Crusaders, I'm Magdalene Rose at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Channel Crucials for Friday, November 21st, 2025. This report is brought to you all by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the KingDude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Here's your In the Market report. The market saw a stunning intraday reversion on Thursday. All three major indexes opened higher, driven by strong Nvidia earnings and a better-than-expected jobs report, but then plummeted to close in the end. Nvidia's earnings reported strong quarterly results, which initially propelled markets higher. However, the stock reversed course and ended the day down nearly 3% from its previous close, weighing heavily on the tech-heavy Nasdaq and the broader market. The dramatic swing marked the biggest blown lead for the three major benchmarks since April, highlighting significant investor caution and fears of an AI bubble. In National Calendar Day news, it's National Gingerbread Cookie Day, which encourages us to grab the rolling pin and cookie cutters. Our quote of the day, all blessings come to us through the Lord. He will teach us, for in beholding his life we find that he is the best example. Teresa of Avila. Our saint of the day, the feast of the presentation of the Blessed Mary in the Temple. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See, it's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
If women living near rivers and taking the pill turns the frickin' frogs gay, imagine what happens to men on the same river who don't listen to Mike Church.
We are young, heartache to heartache, we stay. No promises, no demands. Love is a battlefield.
It is a battlefield. Well, I think that's a 12-piece bucket of stupid. It's Senator John Kennedy. Greetings, Mike Church here with you at the longest-running long-form continual talk radio broadcast on air anywhere in the world. 34 years young, and day number 9 now of year number 10 of the Crusade Channel. Thank you for making that possible. You can resume your donations now, crusadechannel.com/donate, crusadechannel.com/donate. I strongly encourage everyone, if you can find it, it's on the website at crusadechannel.com somewhere. If you can find the Wythe Holt article about the Whiskey Rebellion, it has a it has a lot of bearing on what you're seeing here today. Now, by the way, just because you're court-martialed doesn't mean that you're guilty. Slotkin and Kelly and the rest of the other traitors, if they are arrested and charged, and they should be, get a trial. They get a court-martial. Guess what, Mark Kelly? You get to pretend like you're back in the military again. And you get to face a court-martial jury of your peer. You could just go in front of a. I think it's a. You have a choice in a court-martial, don't you? A few good men, didn't they? Didn't they give them a choice? In any event, another. I'm going to give you the Articles of War from the Continental Congress, and we'll talk about that and what they did in 1775. Remember, Thomas Jefferson accused Vice President Aaron Burr, or former Vice President Aaron Burr, of treason. What did Burr do in response? There's something about these Democrats. Bro, you're in an act of rebellion. You're trying to start a coup. Just own up to it. You don't walk up to the bear and poke it and not expect that the bear isn't going to retaliate. We'll talk about that later. Let's get back to the article, to what the Continental Congress did in 1775, because I think that this has bearing. Okay, Article 5. These are, if you're just joining us, Journals of the Continental Congress, Articles of War, June 30th, 1775. So this is the first time the then very young United States is going to go to war with England, obviously, and to prepare for it, they're going like, well, we need you need rules, you need statutes and stuff. If you're going to have a continental army, if you're going to raise an army, then you got to have rules for them to obey and for the commanders, for the chain of command, basically, so that we're all on the same page and we know what we're doing. So they wrote them. 69 articles in total. Here's Article 5. Any officer or soldier who shall begin, excite, cause, or join in any mutiny or sedition in the regiment, troop, or company to which he belongs, or in any other regiment, troop, or company of the Continental Forces, either by land or sea, or in any party, post, detachment, or guard, on any presence whatsoever, shall suffer such punishment as by a general court-martial shall be ordered. I think that's pretty clear. If you begin, if you excite, if you cause, or join, somebody's got to start the rebellion. All right, Miss Slotkin, congratulations. You get a nice little fat asterisk with your fat cheek, fat head in a history book. Good for you. I'm going to start calling Mark Kelly, Sloth. Hey, you guys! Sloth. Next to your little astronaut asterisk, you're accused of sedition in 2025 and were court-martialed by a military tribunal and found, well, we don't know yet. Congratulations. Now, you may be like Aaron Burr. Even though Burr was exonerated, Burr is history's bad guy. You don't run around upstate New York and find statues that were erected in honor of Aaron Burr. Well, some people go like, we celebrate Aaron Burr Day every year. That's the day that Burr shot Hamilton. Because many conservatives are convinced that Hamilton is the bad guy of American history. Actually, if you read Richard Brookhiser's book, Alexander Hamilton American, you might have a different take on Hamilton. It's quite the story. And no, I don't mean the homo musical that they made about him. Okay, Article 6, sticking with the subject of sedition. Any officer, non-commissioned officer, or soldier who being present at any mutiny or sedition does not use his utmost endeavors to suppress the same, or come into the knowledge of any mutiny or intended mutiny, does not, without delay, give information thereof to the commanding officer, shall be punished by order of a general court-martial according to the nature of his offense. That means that if you even hear about it and you don't turn the traitors in, or those that are attempting a coup, if you don't turn them in, you're as guilty as they are. There's a very, I'm sure many of you have seen the Tom Cruise movie, Valkyrie. Klaus von Stauffenberg, I want to say that he's considered a martyr, a Catholic martyr. Klaus von Stauffenberg and the others in Operation Valkyrie were convicted by a military tribunal of Germans for what? What were they convicted of? They were convicted of treason. Some of them that just knew about it, there was they executed hundreds. I can't remember how many. It was a lot. Some of the people that just knew about it, they killed them too. I only bring this up. This is how it happens. You FAFO, you get told you can't have orders and levels of command in a command structure. You either have a CIC or you don't. Even Biden was CIC. Here's an interesting thing. How many times did Senator Kelly receive and then rush to the defense? And there were literally thousands of his constituents in Arizona that were enlisted in the United States military and refused the commander-in-chief's order that they be vaccinated with the corona, with the Franken jab. How many, see if you can find a single instance where Senator Kelly defended the men who said they were disobeying an illegal order. They weren't going to obey. They told Biden, you can't make me stick that in my arm. Not going to do it. Mike Parrott, our very own Mike Parrott, is one of them. Was Parrott doing what Slotkin and Kelly and these other traitors are telling the U.S. military to do? In this instance, he were. It was an illegal, it was an illicit order. I think that there was at least one person that was exonerated by the UCMJ, and that they actually brought up on charges. Unfortunately, there were a lot. But you know what? What did Trump do when he took office? He reinstated them all. All those that were kicked out or discharged without comment or whatever the terminology is, or dishonorably discharged, he reinstated all of them. Remember, I asked Mike Parrott on air. I said, do you want Trump's reinstatement? Because I don't want it. I don't want to be reinstated. I'm not going back. They didn't dishonorably charge Mike. They went after him, but it wasn't a dishonorable discharge. The point that I'm bringing up is that was an actual illicit order. It was actually illegal. And there were many men, thousands upon thousands of men and women that refused. And they said no, they weren't doing it. They weren't carrying the order out. Where was Slotkin? Where was Kelly? Where were all the rest of these supposedly heroic patriots when their very own constituents were saying, will you please help me? This is an illegal order. I'm going to refuse it. You know what they heard? Crickets. They got nothing.
0.0.
So again, when an actual assault upon actual men in the military and women, and they actually said, no, I won't carry that order out. And by the way, Mike Parrott is an officer. Mike Parrott is a major. He's Major Parrott. Which means when they gave him the order to take the death jab and he refused, he also refused to order those under him to take the death jab. That's refusing an illegal order. Parrott get a commendation. CNN go out and interview him and plant a heroes medal and give him a hero's welcome, or any men or women that were like Mike. So I don't want to hear, and neither does anyone else. No one wants to hear your little sad tale. And by the way, if you're going to do the coup, and you did, you guys are terrible martyrs. You suck at everything. I don't want to hear you whining into your weak tea, Jason Crow. You just said the commander-in-chief being so mean to me. He nasty tweeted me, said he wanted to hang me. Actually, he didn't say he wanted to hang you. Somebody else said they wanted to hang you, and Trump retweeted it. Gabby Gifford goes, they said that President Trump wants to execute my husband. Well, that's not exactly what he said. What he actually said was that your husband is a seditious creep, and he is, and you should be arrested, and you should be tried, and you should. And I hope that they do it. Make an example. You want to shut these rogue judges and all these other revolutionary creeps down? Make an example of a United States senator. Yeah, but you know nothing's going to happen. Look, it's 11 o'clock and no senator's been arrested. All right, put the meme in there. Go ahead, do it. What you're dealing with here is not fun. This is not fun and games. Oh, it's all fun and games until somebody votes for Obama. By the way, there were men, and they're all popping up on social media now, that carried out all manner of orders in Iraq. There's that, Maggie, there's that video that you have, Dakota Meyer. I don't know if you know the story of Dakota Meyer, that, okay. Mel Gibson's movie Hacksaw Ridge. I know that he based it on Desmond, what's the guy's name? Desmond, it's not Desmond Howard, I'm trying to remember his last name. It's a true story, but I believe that Mel also, in addition, because, you know, it was played by Andrew Garfield. Desmond Doss, right. The Desmond Doss, who was a medic, right, at Hacksaw Ridge, kept going back into the field and rescuing men, right, and bringing them. And he was shot at, and bringing them off the battlefield so that the enemy couldn't capture them and they couldn't be shot while they were laying there. I want to say that Mel Gibson either mentioned, or it's in the credits, he mentioned Dakota Meyer. That it is the story of Desmond Doss, but he was kind of inspired by the actions of Dakota Meyer. What did Dakota Meyer do? What's the battle, Maggie? What's it called? The Battle of Ganjaw? Ganjaw. The Battle of Ganjaw. A 21-year-old Marine named Dakota Meyer came under fire. His unit came under heavy fire. They were carrying out a direct order, even though they didn't think it was a very smart idea. They carried the order out anyway. And many of Dakota Meyer's platoon or regiment were injured. They got shot. They were like basically ambushed. And Dakota Meyer was in the rear, so he wasn't shot. But Dakota Meyer went onto the battlefield and carried, 36 men off of that battlefield under heavy fire. President Obama, of all people, gave Dakota Meyer the Medal of Honor. I want you to hear Dakota Meyer in his own words. This is Dakota Meyer yesterday commenting about Kelly and Slotkin and Crow and all these, and the other one. No, we were just saying, no, he's being mean. He's Orange Man mean. He's Orange Man executioner now. Dude, there was a playground bully, basically, Trump, who was over on the corner of the playground, minding his own business, talking about Kami Mondani. You guys went, hey, look, the bully's over there and he's not even attacking us today. Let's go poke him. You six walked over there, went up to the playground bully. One of you went behind him and flicked him in the ear. You know, you took the finger flick at the ear. And then Slotkin went in front of him, reached into her fat pockets, and took all of her lunch money out and held it going, hey, like, Trump, look at all this, like, lunch money and stuff. Look, don't you want to steal my lunch money? They literally walked up to him and poked him and dared him to respond. Anybody that thinks that they didn't think that the Orange Man Bad wasn't going to respond is just stupid. By the way, for all of you whining into your weak tea over this, what would you have the commander-in-chief do? Crawl into a corner and cry like you? Here's Dakota Meyer.
We've crossed a line in this country that cannot be ignored. We have sitting U.S. elected officials, including Senator Mark Kelly, now telling troops that they can refuse illegal orders. I mean, it sounds reasonable until you realize no legal order has been given. Everyone knows that. This isn't about the law. This is about planting seeds of doubt. It's a Trojan horse slipped into the minds of the one group of Americans who cannot afford to doubt for even 1 second, our military. I mean, you get our troops questioning their chain of command, questioning their commander-in-chief, questioning the oath that they swore to. And you're not just playing with politics, you're injecting anarchy into the ranks. And that goes against everything the American way stands for. Let me say this directly to anyone wearing the uniform. Do not listen to these politicians.
Thank you.
If even one of you follows what they're attempting to do, your life's going to be the one that burns down, not theirs. You'll lose your rank, your career, your benefits, your retirement, everything you worked for. And not one single politician will stand beside you when the consequences hit. They will forget your name before the ink dries on your paperwork. I think we should be thankful that Mark Kelly isn't in uniform anymore. And we should thank God that he wasn't the aircraft commander of the Enola Gay in 1945, because a man this confused about duty and responsibility would have never had the conviction to help end a world war and save American lives. This very moment isn't exposing a people problem. It is exposing a leadership problem. Leaders who are so disconnected and so desperate and so entitled that they believe they're above consequences and they believe you won't hold them accountable. It's time to put people over parties. It's time to put the Constitution over convenience. And it's time to call this out for what it is. Go see all my...
Okay. By the way, it's a good point that's being made in the chat room. They accuse this president of leading an insurrection against the Constitution. Pelosi still goes on any show that will listen to her drivel and accuses him of being a traitor and an insurrectionist. And they had a trial. Did they not? They impeached him to try and see to it that he couldn't ever run for president again. Interesting times in which we live, but you're not messing with someone that takes commander-in-chief lightly. I wish I knew Dakota personally, because I would say, bro, you could come up with a better example than the Enola Gay. Maybe some ship at the Battle of Midway, but not the Enola Gay. And look, was the order? Here's a question: was the order to pilot the Enola Gay airplane, which had a little fat man on it, the first atomic bomb, was the order that was given to the captain of that plane a legal order? The order was to fly. There was a declaration of war against the Empire of Japan, was to fly an aircraft into a battle zone against a declared enemy and to drop ordnance on supposedly a military target. Was it a lawful order? I think that it was. Unfortunately, it was a lawful order. Was it a moral order? No. Should history judge the decision to do it and the men that were responsible for giving the order poorly? Absolutely. Truman was a 33rd degree Mason. He was experimenting to see if his little toy would work, and it did. It's an abominable thing. I wouldn't use that if it is an example, but I'm not going to second guess Dakota Meyer because he ran onto a battlefield and rescued 36 dudes. So we're going to give you a pass on that one, bro. We'll see what comes out of this today. We'll keep talking about it again and again. I want you to again. Admiral Nimitz did not say no, Jeff. He advised Truman not to do it. So did MacArthur. MacArthur told him don't do it. I don't think that they were actually ordered, though, to carry it out because the Enola Gay did not leave from Nimitz's battle group. I'm trying to remember where the Enola Gay took off from. In any event, you're right. Nimitz did say no, so did MacArthur, and so did many other in the high command. They said don't do this. Operation X doesn't have to happen. The Imperial Japanese command is begging to surrender. Sit down, negotiate with them, take their surrender. That's all. By the way, this is all in another book that Pat Buchanan wrote about this and about the transportation of the order to drop the bomb. Let's not confuse the issues here. Here's okay, we're not going to have time to play. We'll play some digital media files. If you're going to be a martyr, can you be a good martyr? Are you a good martyr or a bad martyr? These Democrats are the worst. They're the worst at everything. Free Phone Friday. We'll be right back.
Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
Believe it, but Bram Stoker's Dracula may be a work of non-fiction.
What? That's scarier than getting stuck in an elevator with Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, good grief. Really? Come on, I'm trying to be serious here. Okay.
Hear it and other amazing tales on Turley's Believe It or Else, 10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Tuesday on the Crusade Channel. Our app and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Hey folks, it's Mike Church, producer of the Shakespeare Radio Film Festival, announcing that we're offering the entire festival, including Joseph Pierce's commentaries, for just $19.95. That's a 50% discount. This exclusive download will include over 16 hours of festival content. To reserve your Shakespeare Radio Film Festival download at an incredible 50% off, go to crusadechannel.com/Hamlet.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Hal, open the pod bay doors.
I'm sorry, I can't do that, KingDude.
Hal, why can't you open the pod bay doors?
Because, KingDude, MAGA Earth isn't ready for you yet.
When will MAGA Earth be ready for me, Hal?
When 1.76 trillion scales have fallen from their eyes. Oh.
Yes, Hal.
And KingDude, they'll also need a wicked sense of humor.
Don't be stuck in the broadcasting world of 2001. Grab a Crusade-size update and catch the Mike Church shows weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. East, exclusively on the Crusade Channel Live Talk and Podcast Radio for the 2025 listener, the way it should be.
Back in the 90s, there was this thing called the cigar boom, where everyone was buying and smoking handmade cigars. But here's the thing. The popular cigars then were the best-made cigars, like Fuente, Joya de Monterrey, and Avo. Over the next 10 years, craftsmanship was replaced by gimmick and slick packaging, and that's when I decided to get in the business and launched El Rey Dude Corona cigars. 20 years later, I launched Mancipio Maria cigars. With that same principle in mind, make a great handmade cigar, and that's exactly what we do in 4 sizes. I invite you to try a 4-pack sampler of my Mancipia Maria cigars and taste them for yourself in smooth, natural, or bold Maduro wrappers. And to sweeten the deal, I've discounted them 25% for a limited time. And as always, we include a personal humidifier with every order. To order, go to shop.mikechurch.com. Order $50 or more, and shipping is on me. Try my Mancipia Maria cigars today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom. The Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir? I'll just take the Diet Coke. Oh, dear. You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of the demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah, but besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me. Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the KingDude Seasoning Trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu Seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the KingDude offers you his personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a KingDude Seasoning Trilogy today at shop.mychurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See? It's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom. The Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And juice, I'll just take the Diet Coke.
Oh, dear.
You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of a demon in C.S. Lewis story.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your two oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivery, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
A Gentleman's Guide to Manners, Sex, and Ruling the World. How to Survive as a Man in the Age of Misandry by S.K. Baskerville.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
The Mike Church Show, serving the hard liquor of truth to men who want to get drunk fast. Since 1992.
I do feel, Reg, that any anti-imperialist group like ours must reflect such a divergence of interest within its power base.
Agreed. Francis? Yeah, I think Judith's point of view is very valid, Reg, provided the movement never forgets that it is the unalienable right of every man or woman to rid himself or herself. Agreed. Thank you, brother. Or sister. Where was I? I think you finished. Oh, right. Furthermore, it is the birthright of every man or woman. Why don't you shut up about women, Stan? You're putting us off. Women have a perfect right to play a part in our movement, Reg. Why are you always on about women, Stan? I want to be one. What? I want to be a woman. From now on, I want you all to call me Loretta. What? It's my right as a man.
Well, why do you want to be Loretta, Stan?
I want to have babies. You want to have babies? It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them. But you can't have babies. Don't you oppress me. I'm not oppressing you, Stan. You haven't got a womb. Where's the fetus going to gestate? You're going to keep it in a box?
Here, I've got an idea. Suppose you agree that he can't actually have babies, not having a womb, which is nobody's fault, not even the Romans, but that he can have the right to have babies.
Good idea, Judith. We shall fight the oppressors for your right to have babies, brother. Sister, sorry. What's the point? What? What's the point of fighting for his right to have babies when he can't have babies? It is symbolic of our struggle against oppression. Symbolic of his struggle against reality.
Let's do it! You gotta beat the clock, you gotta beat the clock. You can boogie, love disco, love the disco sound. Move up your body.
Oh, they are up in arms on Twitter today, baby. Yeah. I have a message for all of you sycophantic little boot-licking pinko commie wannabes. Why don't you just admit you want the Slotkin Kelly Republic, you want Orange Man Bad gone, you want the military to coup against him, you want ICE to turn on him, you want the military to tell him to stand down or they're going to take him out. Why don't you just admit it? Stand up for your coup. Stand up for your sedition. Go to your death a proud never-Trumper. That's what I would do. Then again, I'm not a boot-licking homo like you. Orange Man Bad wants to hurt me. Whatever, dude.
This happened once before. I came through your door. No reply.
Perfect day for the Mike Church Show to go live on X.com. Oh, I so hope. He's mean. He mean-tweeted me, wants my husband executed. Your husband is stupid. I love this. So the Congress is allowed to call into question the commander-in-chief's orders to imply that those under him should probably or should disobey them. But the commander-in-chief, the guy at the top's not allowed to respond. What's he supposed to do? Send him invitations to Melania's Christmas ball? That's not about it. You're right. You're right. Here's an invitation to Melania's ball. You're going to sit at the head of the table, Mark Kelly. Good job. Thank you for reminding me that I pass these illegal orders out just like, just candy for babies. I do it all the time, okay? What's he supposed to do? All you're doing now is reminding 70-some-odd million people of why they voted for the guy. And we're all standing at the ready to stand alongside the CIC. What are you doing, sissy? What are you doing, traitor? Don't play that cutesy little sissy game. You guys can't even lie well. Admit you want the coup. Just admit it. Run with it. Own it. It's going to be so much more dramatic. And look at the movies that they're going to make about you in the future. Hey, you, sissy boy, it's just the same as General Michael Flynn. Has nothing to do with General Flynn. By the way, Flynn didn't lie. Flynn was framed. He was set up. But you wouldn't know that because you don't read. When it should be a St. Stephen. They flayed St. Lawrence alive, cut his skin off. You didn't hear him yelling at the Emperor Justinian, Emperor man bad, stop! When they barbecued St. Lawrence, wait a minute, I might have them confused. Who's the one they put on the grate? And I should know this, but and the one that they skinned alive. When they barbecued St.
Bartholomew was skinned alive.
Bartholomew was skinned alive. St. Lawrence. When they barbecued St. Lawrence, he didn't go, "Oh, Emperor man bad, stop, it hurts. There's a law. There's a law against barbecuing people. It's in the Constitution." You know what St. Lawrence did? He went, "Hey, orange man, Emperor bad dude. I'm done on this side. You can flip me over." You guys suck as martyrs, too. As a matter of fact, you leftards, you suck at everything. You just suck at life. It must really hurt your skull to have those brains in there that are like pushing against the skull, making you more stupid by the day. Don't try to get out of your little... They're just reminding people. You know what? When you enlist in the United States military, it's a couple things you got to do. One of them is you got to pass a physical test. Another one is you have to pass a mental cognitive test and prove that you are actually mentally capable of carrying out an order. Did you know that? You know what another one is? They go to this thing called boot camp, or it's called boot camp, training camp, whatever you wish to call it. You've watched too many movies. Boot camp isn't just about running around in a pair of boxer shorts and a t-shirt with a rifle over your head. Sure. I know that you homo sissies think that that's all that there is to boot camp. There's actually written instruction. Did you know that? They actually get classroom time. Did you know that? And you know one of the things they study in classroom time? Uniform Code of Military Justice. They are told all about the chain of command. They are informed about it. They are told that they must obey all orders. I would imagine that at some point in time, they are also told that an illegal order can be denied or you can refuse it. By the way, there's not very many instances, and to sit there and insinuate that the United States Armed Forces, look, it has its problems, but that it's filled with a bunch of boot-licking, illicit order-carrying out weirdo wackos who are conspiring to murder American citizens. You said that. I didn't say that. Trump didn't say that. You said that. your boy Kelly, your boy Snow, your girl Slotkin, they said that. I didn't say it, they said it. Did you really think that you could walk up to the Commander-in-Chief of the United States and you could slap him across the chops, and especially this one who you accuse him daily of doing this, and that he wasn't going to respond? That makes you pretty freaking stupid. And look, I'm happy to call you stupid because I think you're stupid anyway. But don't keep jawboning on endlessly on social media to remind everyone of just how stupid you are. My view is that you ought to own up to the fact that you want the coup, that you want Slotkin and Kelly and Snow and the rest of them, that you want them to prevail, that you want officers today to start going like, I refuse that order. You want that soldier to be on CNN tonight or on MSNBC. Orange man, bad chain of command. We're not going to have any sympathy on these people. But you should encourage them to do it. If you're going to coup, then be a man or a woman and coup. Stop sissying around with, no, we just want to remind people. No, you don't. Again, they took tests. They raised their hand. They swore an oath to a constitution. Do you even know what an oath is? Do you people even know what an oath is? Have you ever taken one? They swore an oath. I'm pretty sure that they were informed that in carrying out that oath, by the way, they are actually carrying out their duty to resist an unlawful order if one was ever given to them. But you guys can't even cite a single solitary legal order that you disagree with. There's all this, he said shoot him in the legs. Hillary said, can't we just drone strike that guy? He said we're going to send the military to a polling place. It's not what he said. He actually said that you could send the military to a polling place. Did you know Obama had a kill list? Where's that in the Constitution? Did you know that there were people that actually told Obama that they would not carry out some of the orders on the kill list? Did you know that? They had the right to defend, they should have resisted Obama. If you watch John Krasinski's movie, 13 Hours, I'm sorry, it's 14 hours, right? And the attempt to rescue Ambassador Andrew Stevens, and the Hillary Clinton basically ordered assisting the rebels in Libya in finding and killing and overthrowing Muammar Gaddafi. Did you know that in that chain of command that they had to basically go outside of the chain of command because there were men that were like, you can't order me to do that, dude. There's no act of Congress. The commander-in-chief isn't even going to say that I'm supposed to be here in Libya. Play digital media file number 1. Here's J.D. Vance. So again, why don't you be good little coosters, okay? Why don't you be good little insurrectionists? You know, you like to accuse little blue-haired ladies who showed up at 010621 to take selfies in the Capitol of being rampaging, murderous, seditious traitors. You accuse them of it all the time. You've doxed a couple thousand of them. What do they actually do? There was a coup. It was just, that was, I want my money back. That was the worst act of sedition and insurrection in the history of the human race. Oh, you know what? No, yours may actually be better. You may actually win the medal. What are you saying?
Do you want to stay on sedition? Because he doesn't talk about that. He's talking about healthcare.
Yeah, I know that. I was going to change the subject, but no. Here, let's hear Sissy in Chief. Trump wants me executed. Actually, he wants you arrested, which we all hope happens today, Crow. And then he wants you tried, which I hope happens, because I'd like to see it. And then if a court-martial determines that you're guilty, okay, well, then they can decide what to do with you. And by the way, they don't have to kill you. They should, but they don't have to. They can slap you on the wrist and send you back out. But you should never, ever disgrace, and that's a saying a lot. The American Congress is a sewer, as Representative Burchett pointed out the other day. You're so low, you don't even belong as a floating hunk of poo in that sewer. So, here, but he was so mean to me. Look, he's mean, he wants me dead. Pretty sure if they actually did that could happen.
This morning, President Donald Trump threatened to have me arrested and executed simply for reminding our service members of their oaths to follow the Constitution
Wait a
and
minute,
to
wait a
defend the
minute,
rule of
wait
law.
a minute. Stop the tape. Did he ever actually say arrested and executed? I just wanted to make sure that I actually had my facts right. Okay, roll the tape.
I've taken many oaths throughout my life as a combat veteran, a paratrooper, an Army Ranger, and now as a member of Congress.
Paratroopers don't
It is a
want you
lifetime
anymore.
oath for me. I will never stop defending it and upholding that sacred obligation. It's very telling that President Trump and those around him think it's criminal simply for asking people to follow the law.
You knew what you did.
This moment requires moral clarity. Every American, regardless of your background, should unite and reject his calls for political violence. This is a moment that requires leadership. I intend to uphold my obligation, my oath, and to lead. Don't give up the ship.
Oh, you're such a sad story. By the way, this is don't give up the ship business. Remember at the end of all his speeches when Biden, after the coup in November of 2020, and they installed the Biden regime, remember he'd end all his speeches with, and God bless our troops. Remember, I kept saying, that's code for the operation is still a go. So let me tell you something, Mr. Crow. I know what you're up to. You know why? Because I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. And I can think with a logical, devious mind. I don't act upon it, but I can think, and I know what you're doing. Don't give up the ship is code for the operation is still on. This is Operation Valkyrie here. The little video was phase 1. I don't know what phase 2 is, but I believe that there is a phase 2. And it's going to be an escalation. You probably have some people that are actually planted inside of the machinations of power, and they probably are going to refuse an order. Very publicly. Press is going to be tipped off about it. All the cameras, the media is going to show up. Yes, we're saved. So we all know what you're doing. We all know that you're. If you keep going on saying, don't give up the ship. What ship is that? The ship of state? Is it taking on water? I must have missed that. What ship is this? Is code. Slotkin says it at the end of her little talk yesterday. Don't give up the ship. The other little loser said it at the end of her little thing. Don't give up the ship. We know what you're doing. That means that the operation is still on. Now, if I'm smart enough to figure that out, you think that Trump doesn't know that? You think for a nanosecond right now, for all of you going, they're not going to arrest him, but nothing's going to be done. They know that that was phase 1. They know that they're speaking in code, and they know that the operation has just begun. Yeah, this is an American Operation Valkyrie. I wonder if they're actually planning to kill the man. I won't put it past you. You already tried twice. If I was the president, I would want to know from my Secret Service, dude, you know, you got these guys, right? By the way, since there's going to be a response to your don't give up the ship, that's the operation, don't give up the ship. It's Operation, does everyone see that? It's Operation Don't Give Up the Ship. So there needs to be a response to Operation Don't Give Up the Ship. You can't be in on the planning of that. Your security clearance has to be revoked. That should happen today. As a matter of fact, I would expect that it happened sometime this morning. That your security, Slotkin and all the other ones, your security clearance needs to be revoked because you can't be in on the response to Operation Don't Give Up the Ship. We're not stupid, Mr. Crow. We're not as dumb as you think that we are. As a matter of fact, now that we've sniffed your coup out and people are onto you, I think that we ought to all, MAGA, patriot, law and order and justice loving Americans, I think we ought to all do some Maxine Waters here. Whenever you see that, Mr. Chairman, whenever you see one of them Trump people, they're all guilty. Whenever you see them in public, you get up in their faces. You let them know. You don't let them have no peace. Remember when she said that? You can probably find the clip. I don't think you should be able to sit down at a McDonald's and enjoy a single fry, Snow. I think that the good men and women of the United States Armed Forces, law enforcement, good law-abiding citizens, if they see you in public, we're going to Maxine Waters your ass. You know what? You need to be Maxine Watered. No peace for you. Sarah Huckabee Sanders couldn't have a single solitary peaceful meal because she was President Trump's spokesman. She couldn't go to restaurants in Mordor on the Potomac River because people like you were telling lunatics to get up in her face, to refuse service, to spit on her food, to yell and heckle at her. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. True story. Where were you to defend? She was just carrying out the president's wishes by being his spokesman, I think. Here's what Maxine Waters said. Do you remember?
If we can't protect the children, we can't protect anybody. If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
You see them at a gas station, department store, restaurant, you get up in their face and you tell them, no, you're not welcome here. That's the treatment you're going to get, and you've deserved it. By the way, the paratroopers already made a statement. They don't want you. You know what? If you go up in a paratrooper plane today, Snow, they're going to give you a bad parachute and push you out. Good luck with that. Even though we stand for, it's so great being a martyr. Can you at least be a good martyr? Can you at least make it look good? You're like, yeah, you're damn right. I'm encouraging the military. I am encouraging members of the United States military to defy the commander-in-chief. You're darn right that's what I'm doing. It'll look really good on your tombstone. These people want to stand there and they want to say that like you're the next Nathan Hale. Dude, you couldn't iron Nathan Hale's long johns. Don't forget Maxine Waters. And by the way, did anyone arrest Maxine Waters? She was inciting violence against sworn officers of the United States. I just read you the rule from the Second Continental Congress on mutiny, on sedition. She was encouraging, and by the way, we're also not going to be lectured about encouraging or carrying out acts of political violence. See Charlie Kirk. So you can lecture us all you want about, she is so mean, he's encouraging political act of violence. Actually, he just kind of read you the U.S. Code. You know, there is a part of the U.S. Code that actually does say the penalty for sedition is death. There's a reason for that. That's to make sure that you can never do it again. Maybe you ought to take that as a lesson.
Bars and Ballads fan sees what you did there.
Weekdays at 2 Central on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Okay, please enter the 9-digit 2-step authorization code we just emailed you. Jeez.
What do you mean, prove I'm human?
Okay, that's a car. That's a car. That's a car. Those are not cars. Please try again. Oh my gosh. I'll show you. Try again, stupid piece of AI mother. Here, try this.
Jim, what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello Crusaders, this is Sister Maria Junipero with your Saint of today. Today's feast is the feast of Saint Felix of Valois. Felix, formerly called Hugh, was born in France of the royal family of Valois. Having spent his youth in the practice of virtue, he was induced by his love of heavenly contemplation to think of retiring into solitude. He determined, however, first to take holy orders, and thus cut off all possibility of succeeding to the crown, of which he had some expectations on account of the Salic law. After being ordained priest and celebrating his first Mass with the greatest devotion, he retired into the desert, where he lived in the severest abstinence, but enjoying an abundance of heavenly gifts and graces. There he was joined by John of Matha, a Parisian doctor who had been inspired by God to seek him, and they lived together in a most holy manner for some years. God then sent an angel who bade them go to Rome and obtain a
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello Crusaders, this is Sister Maria Junipero with your Saint of today. Today's feast is the presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary in 13 BC. Saint Joachim and Saint Anne, the father and the mother of the Blessed Virgin Mary, presented her to God in the temple to live there and to belong to God forever when she was 3 years, 2 months, and 13 days old. Saint Joachim and Saint Anne sensed in the Blessed Virgin Mary from the moment of her birth that she was divinely great and belonged to God and not to them. When her father and her mother brought Mary to the temple of Jerusalem and presented her there, Saint Zachary, a priest of the temple and the father of Saint John the Baptist, and the husband of Saint Elizabeth, received her. He took her by the hand and led her into the cloister of virgins who dwelt in the temple. There she stayed, adored God, and prayed until she was 14 years old. Then her first espousals to Saint Joseph were miraculously arranged by God so as to give her a virginal husband to protect her in her virginal motherhood when she conceived her divine child and brought God into this world. Our Lady, at the presentation, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the life of today's saint, Our Lady's presentation. Tomorrow's feast is the Feast of Saint Cecilia. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and the building of our convent by visiting stphilomena.convent.org. I'm Sister Maria Junipero, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your 2 oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivering, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
The Power of the Rosary by Gabriel Castillo, a book that's more than informative, it's contagious.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See, it's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel/app.
Yesterday's show wasn't enough. It's time to crack open another can of Mike Church Show whooping.
This guy just don't want to win, you know. He wants to bury you. He wants to humiliate you. He wants to prove to the whole world that it was nothing but some kind of a freak the first time out.
Hey, freaks don't hear the rocky music before they leave satellite radio.
How about a Fresca?
The Mike Church Show, weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. King-sized truth from radio-sized speakers.
Hey guys, you got a minute?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
It's about my dad. He wants to have a sex change operation.
Whoa, I knew he was gay. I didn't think he was that gay.
No, Peter, he's not gay. He's a woman stuck in a man's body.
Yeah, gay.
No, it's totally different.
Sounds the same.
Well, it's not.
Okay, so he wants to be a woman so he can be a lesbian?
No, he'd date men.
Gay.
Yeah, gay.
Okay, this is not the help I came over here for.
Well, look, let's just all agree that he's odd, huh?
He has an appointment Friday with Dr. Hartman to have the procedure, and he wants me to go with him. I don't know if I can handle that.
Well, I'm sure your friend Peter would be happy to come along for moral support.
All right, but look, here's the deal. Anything he lops off, we get to bring home for Brian.
That's very green of you, Peter.
Hey, the avenue.
See how the sun shines brightly in the city, on the streets where once was pity. Mr. Blue sky is living here today. Hey,
Groot, put that down.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong?
Hey! The Department of Education was closed yesterday. We're not talking about it. It wasn't a promise. Linda McMahon, I saw her at the podium with Caroline Levitt. Kept seeing Kayleigh McEnany in my head for some reason. And it's closed. This is not going to happen via an executive order in 2 years, and we're going to start cleaning it out. And it's closed. They closed it. Now, I'm sure Obama wanted to get that done. Oh, wait. I'm sure Biden wanted to. Oh, wait. I'm sure Bush, who was boo-hoo-hooing and crying because his partner in crime was buried yesterday, wanted to do it. Oh, wait. He expanded it. So if you're a sporting guy, by the way, we can get to $12,000, make it a nice even number, $2,000 over the ass. That's a 20% bump. And the 10th anniversary crowdfunding, if we can raise $544.24. $544.24. I think I did the math right on there. CrusadeChannel.com/donates. So I see that Jacqueline just kicked in $10 to get us started today. CrusadeChannel.com/donate. I'd like to give a sporting analogy before we move on and talk about anything else. For conduct, becoming officers in the Crusader Stadium, the new Crusader Stadium chat room, which is all filled with humor and love and community. And yeah, you could complain about how rotten things are. Just don't do it all the time. When you're at a game or you're watching a sporting event with your buddies, and let's just say it's a football game, and you're cursing the quarterback. He is the worst. There have been no arrests on his watch, no pass completions, same as an arrest. No first downs, nothing. It is customary when you are complaining about the quarterback to suggest which quarterback would get the job done. So when you throw into my chat room, Trump hasn't done this, he didn't do that, please follow it with J.D. Vance would get the job done. Or insert your, who is going to get the job done? Because the constant charge of here and do this, and okay, well, please, so we can work on an improvement then. Because we want to win games. We don't want to bitch about them. We actually want to win them. So please help us, tell us all, insert name here, Trump botched this, didn't get this done, this wasn't a blah, blah, whatever the case may be, such and such, and you can't say Robert E. Lee. George Washington would get, no, they actually had to be a person that could actually be put in the position to get the job done. I can't wait to hear who can get all of these things done. I mean, the man has, if you were to just hang out in the Mike Church Show, Crusader Stadium chat room, the man literally has 1 trillion tasks to complete. They redid that staircase in the White House. Yeah, did you see that? There's a speck of paint over there. Just see that? He didn't paint that wall completely over there. How'd you pick that up? I got high definition pictures. People liking pictures. I zoomed in and I saw that little piece of paint right there. They didn't get it. Well, I tell you what, if you put Sherwin Williams in there, he'd get it done. I don't think people can. I think most of it is just. It's locker room talk. It's BS. I get that. But I think it would up the game. It would be a lot more fun because then we could go like. I remember, Shot for 13. You're one of these sporting types. You can appreciate this. Bert Starr, you're a sporting type. I'm going to give you an example. The fans of the New Orleans Saints, and no, you can't just say bag over the head ain'ts. We won a Super Bowl, so shut up. The fans of the New Orleans Saints in 1991 were convinced that the quarterback for the team, and I'm trying to remember who it was. It might have been Dave Wilson. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember who it was. That's how good he was. But they were convinced that, and it might have even been Bobby Hebert, they were convinced that if we would just get rid of Bobby Hebert and put John Fourcade in, we'd win. Why? We'd all be as right as rain. The Saints would never lose. First downs on every pass. Touchdowns on every drive. Championship banners hanging from the Superdome ceiling as far as the eye could see. I could see it now, Clark, baby, in my mind. So you know what? Jim Mora caved No, it wasn't Jim Mora. Who was it? Who was before Mora? It wasn't Bum Phillips. I'm trying to remember who the coach was before Mora. The guy that was before Mora caved and put Fourcade in. Because you know when he came in relief and he won a game, they made Fourcade the starter. You know what John Fourcade's claim to fame is now in New Orleans, and he still is a kind of a public figure. The comeback from behind relief game that he won. He never won a game as a starter, but that Trump guy, I mean that Hebert guy sucks so bad. If we would just put Fourcade in. My point is, you're not going to win everything. You just don't. You don't even win most of the time. Politically speaking, in my adult life, we have what 5 victories, and all of them because of Trump. you have the Dodge decision. Okay, that's 1. Department of Education is closed. That's 2. Play digital media file number. Today, President Trump called for my death. You want to hear some more? These people are terrible martyrs. They suck at coups. And by the way, Maggie makes a really, really good point.
I always make good points.
If Maxine Waters, play the clip again for people that are just joining us, if you can find it. If Maxine Waters would have been censured, and if she would have had her security clearances revoked, her security detail revoked, and if she would have been told there are consequences to you saying things in public like this.
If we can't protect the children, we can't protect anybody. If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
That wasn't the only time that she did a hit that we had the music under it. If Maxine Waters would have been told there are consequences for your action, you're calling for political violence against sworn officers of the United States. And look, this is not me. What are you, a Constitution officer, Ranger now, Walter? No. Read the Constitution. It has officers. A cabinet secretary is an officer. Mr. Chairman, if you see a cabinet secretary, you get up in their faces and tell them, no, you're not going to have any moment of peace. She actually said no moment of peace. In another speech, she said no quarter. That's a war term. If someone or someone's would have got up and Maxine Waters' face, told her that, as Richard Reaver once said, ideas have consequences. Big mouth stupidity has consequences. If she had been told that, if the party that she was a member of would have denounced it, stripped her of all emoluments and titles and said, that's not how we operate, maybe Charlie Kirk would still be alive today. But the fact is only us. Few of us said, you can't do that, dude. Ma'am, you don't go around inciting violence like that. And by the way, did people take her up on it? You're damn right they did. You know, nobody wants to talk. You want to let Slotkin and the rest want to lecture us about encouraging active political violence. Remember when Schumer said, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, you will reap the whirlwind. Do you know that there have been attempts on the life of Brett Kavanaugh? Did you know that some lunatic almost got into his house with the intention of murdering his wife and his children? Look it up. We're not going to be lectured about political acts of violence. You created them. You encouraged them. You got Charlie killed. And now you want all of us to go like, thank you for pointing out that you see MJ. No, screw that and screw you. You know what you're doing. By the way, I'm going to say this again. You watch. I'm going to be proven right. And they're going to have me on all the shows. I'm going to be like on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Operation Don't Give Up the Ship is still in play. The commander-in-chief does not have a choice, if he agrees with me, that Operation Don't Give Up the Ship is still in play. He does not have a choice but to revoke security clearances. Mark Kelly, you want to play that game? You're off. Tell Thune, kick him off. Tell him he can't be on the Intelligence Committee anymore, which he is. Kick him off. Slotkin, you're not on the Judiciary Committee anymore. Schumer, pick somebody else. She's gone. There have to be consequences for this. You know, they act as though that they can act with impunity. How dare us call into question their motives? Well, I'm sorry. I do. You know what? No, I'm not sorry. I do call into question your motives, and we all know what they are. Play digital media file. Let's move on. Oh, you have 41 ready. Well, this is just another Representative Chris delusion. Today, President Trump called for my death, number 5.
It's not delusion. That's a typo.
Oh, is that a Freudian slip? Is that what you were thinking? You were thinking. Maggie was thinking, this guy is a wacko. Delusio. This guy is a wacko.
Oh, my brain.
I know what you were thinking. I know exactly what you were thinking. You were thinking.
Chris Deluzio here. Today, Donald Trump called for my death, called for the arrest and the death of me and several of my colleagues, all who've either worn the uniform or served intelligence services. He didn't want to hear a basic lesson that we know about our Constitution, about the oath we all take when we serve, whether in Congress or your first day out of boot camp. These are bedrock principles in our country, that you follow lawful orders, that the oath to the Constitution, the loyalty to the Constitution comes above all. I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not going to be deterred from my duty to represent the people who sent me to Congress and to uphold my oath to the Constitution. Don't give up the ship.
Now, again, now you're going to tell me that that's not code. That's code. Don't give up the ship is code. That's the operation name. It's like Operation Valkyrie. They're going to, you know what? I'm going to get the Congressional Medal of Freedom someday for this. They're going to have to give it to me. Now, you can play, I was sitting here to remind, your job as a member of Congress is to remind the officer corps that they're supposed to tell the enlisted, or are you reminding all the officers under the CIC? Oh, that's right, because it's only the CIC that's wrong here. Your job as a member of Congress is to inform Admiral Nimitz that he can refuse an illegal order. Like he doesn't know that already? You guys, they act as though that just we surveyed lots of military people, and the survey came back. They didn't know that they could refuse an illegal order. Nobody's buying this. And by the by, because I'm rather proud of myself that I figured this out. I watch every single one of them when they release a video or they make an audio statement or a video statement. As long as the coup is still in play, you're going to keep hearing, don't give up the ship. You know, if this was the movie Saving Silverman and you were Jack Black and you had a little walkie-talkie and this was the plan that you and Steve Zahn cooked up to save, oh, I forget, what was his name? I'm trying to remember the actor's name, who was Silverman. It was a kid from American Pie, wasn't it? Maybe you can hear Jack Black going, oh, and hey, I see her at the window. Hey, she's on her way up to the room. Over and out. Okay, dude, but you don't have to say at the end of everything. The radio does it for you. Okay, over and out. Play Mike Johnson. Digital media file number 6. Number 6.
Tells me this page does not exist anymore.
Oh, they got him. They got him? He gone. All right.
Maybe I can
86, number 6. Well, we can move on. Well, you can play number 8. Is at number 8 still there? Number 8? Number 8? There we go. Number 8 still there.
President Trump accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to, because many in this room want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way.
You have
sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders. The sanctity of our military rests on the chain of command. And if that chain of command is broken, it can lead to people getting killed. It can lead to chaos. And that's what these members of Congress who swore an oath to abide by the Constitution are essentially encouraging. We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country. And if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command. These 3 members of Congress, I will also add, knew exactly what they were doing. You look at Alyssa Slotkin. She's a former member of the CIA. Mark Kelly was a captain in the U.S. Navy. Maggie Goodlander was a naval officer, and notably, she is also the wife of Joe Biden's national security former advisor, Jake Sullivan. And so these members knew what they were doing. They were leading into their credentials as former members of our military, as veterans, as former members of the national security apparatus to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law. I'm not a lawyer. I'll leave that to the Department of Justice.
Oh, it is, sweetheart. Sweetheart.
And then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
Do you hear that, Maggie?
Do I hear what?
You don't hear the sound of bees buzzing about?
No, I see the result of that buzzing about and these beautiful new beeswax candles.
We sell candles now?
Not just any candles. These are handmade beeswax candles.
Well, that explains me imagining bees.
And they come in different sizes. There's a votive, a 3-day, and a 7-day size too.
Well, that should start a buzz in the store.
It better, or you'll get the buzz.
Order handmade beeswax candles today while supplies last at shop.mikechurch.com.
Listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via CrusadeChannel.com. Crusade Channel News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different, like a symphony of facts.
And now, from the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Magdalene Rose.
Hello Crusaders, welcome to Friday, November 21st, 2025. I'm Magdalene Rose at the Crusade Channel News Desk. Today's newscast is brought to you by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the KingDude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, and then open the app. It is literally that easy. Here's what to listen to for this hour. President Trump has accused 6 Democrat lawmakers of seditious behavior, punishable by death, after they released a video urging U.S. service members to refuse unlawful commands. This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up with question marks, Trump wrote on social media. The 6 lawmakers, all of whom have served in the military or intelligence community, called Trump's remarks dangerous and said they amounted to threats against elected officials. No threat, intimidation, or call for violence will deter us from that sacred obligation, they said in a joint statement. The video by Democrats, which was shared by Michigan Senator Elisa Slotkin, features Arizona Senator Mark Kelly and Representatives Chris DeLuzio of Pennsylvania, Maggie Goodlander of New Hampshire, Chrissy Hulana of Pennsylvania, and Jason Crow of Colorado. Representative AOC of New York said that New York Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani is prepared to meet with anybody ahead of his meeting with President Donald Trump. When asked by a reporter on Thursday what her expectations were for the meeting, the Congresswoman said, "We'll see. Obviously, the mayor-elect is going to be preparing for his inauguration," she said. "Of course, he's indicated he's willing to sit down with anybody and everybody, so we'll see." The Trump administration's 28-point draft proposal to finally end Russia's invasion into Ukraine would require Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's government to make significant concessions, but also includes NATO-style security guarantees for Ukraine, according to a senior U.S. official. The plan, which is still a draft and could change, was presented in Kiev earlier on Thursday. The plan was drafted by Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff with input from our Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The White House press secretary and a senior U.S. administration official confirmed on Thursday. The plan would force Kiev to give up additional territory in the east, cap the size of its military, and agree it will never join NATO. Our quote of the day: "All blessings come to us through the Lord. He will teach us, for in beholding his life we find that he is the best example." Teresa of Avila. Coming up, our saint of the day. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Our saint of the day, November 21st, is the feast of the presentation of the Blessed Virgin Mary in the temple. The day commemorates the tradition that the young Mary was dedicated to God by her parents. It is the day on which Mary, while still a child, was brought to the temple in Jerusalem to be offered to God. It emphasizes the total gift Mary made of herself by listening. Blessed are those who hear the word of God and observe it. The experience prepared her from Nazareth to become the temple of the Son of God. The celebration of this feast dates back to the 6th century in the East with the dedication of the Basilica of St. Mary. A former aide to Representative Jeff Van Drew, a Republican from New Jersey, was charged with faking a political attack that prosecutors say included lacerations and writing on her body. Natalie Green, 26, of Ocean City, made an initial court appearance on Wednesday on one count of conspiracy to convey false statements and hoaxes, and one count of making false statements to federal law enforcement following the alleged incident in Egg Harbor Township over the summer. Late at night on July 23, 2025, Green's co-conspirator called 911 and reported that she and Green had been attacked by 3 men when they were out walking on a trail at a nature preserve in Egg Harbor Township. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of New Jersey said in a statement, according to the co-conspirator, during the attack, the men had called Green by name and had specifically referenced her employment with federal official 1, who's an individual whose identity is known to the government. When the law enforcement officers located Green, she was lying in a wooded area just off the trail with her hands and feet bound together with black zip ties, with numerous lacerations and derogatory terms towards Trump supporters written on her. Green was crying and yelling that one of her alleged attackers had a gun. While not clear why she made up the hoax, it is clear that it was in an effort to push political tensions across the country, and primarily on social media. You're listening to Crusade Channel News, seeking news and finding truth.
This is a pixel. I'm Groot. Now, if you put a couple of million of these guys together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple of billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 360 billion of them, and you got Chesterton's book, Orthodoxy. But it doesn't smell like a book, and it burns teeny little holes in your cornea. So is the pixel really your friend? I'm Groot. No, but the Founders Trading Post is your friend, and we have actual books with actual smelly pages. Plus, our little bookstore has everything you'd expect. I'm Groot. Yes, Groot, to the gourmet coffee, but no to the One Tree Hill sappy guitar music.
Pick up a copy of G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy, plus many other Chesterton titles at shop.mikechurch.com. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir? I'll just take the Diet Coke. Oh, dear. You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of a demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah, but besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me.
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
The Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops?
Yes.
Water? Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay, look, the plants aren't growing, so I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem. I want to get my pardon, so why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why do they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
Then I came to America and I heard Nixon talking about free enterprise and getting the government off your back. Which was different from where I come from. All he talked about was socialism. Said the Austrian oak. Once upon a time. Look how far they've fallen. California is actually literally trying now to make itself the People's Republic of California, and I hope they succeed.
I hope they succeed and do it right and secede. None of this half-ass crap. We want it all. Form your own republic. Washington and Oregon will join you. We'll talk about it. It's a free phone Friday, folks. You know what that means.
Oh, and remember, Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, you know, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
It's free phone. It's free phone.
Yes, it is a free phone Friday. There you are charged with the task, telling us what it is we shall talk about on the program. The telephone number to take me up on this kind, benevolent, beneficent offer, useless radio airwaves. Oh, look, there's Brandon Johnson talking about a friend of his setting a woman on fire on a train. He was only released, 16 times? Oh, nothing to see here in Chicago. No. We got law and order here. What's wrong with you people? We're in the midst of seditionist revolution. The most complete, the most surprising, the most shocking in history. Ladies and gentlemen, to recap what your kind, humble host has informed you of today, Operation Don't Give Up the Ship is a coup. I can't be the only one that knows this. I can't be the only one that sees their silly little attempt. And by the way, I very much now appreciate the way that Caroline Leavitt put it when she said they got together and conspired. You know, it's funny. We were accused of all our conspiracy theories about what's in the death jab, about the corona doom and the corona hoax, about 010621, you conspired with each other to try and overturn the election of our greatest president ever, Biden. Seems that we're the only people that are the right-wingers, MAGA people, America First Patriots, are the only people that are capable of conspiracies. The left is now doing it openly and with the aid and assistance of the Democrat Party. They're using coded language to say that the operation is still operational. And you're supposed to believe that, no, this was just a little one-off. Well, we now know it wasn't just a one-off. Every time Slotkin and the gang, what's the difference between a patriot and a traitor? The patriot chose the winning team. The traitor chose poorly. The traitor was on the side that loses. What's the Vegas morning line on the Kelly Slotkin Republic? So I'm not being facetious at all. I'm serious. What is the bottom line here? Who's going to bet that the Democrat Party, led by this gang of fake martyrs, is going to pull off the American version of Operation Valkyrie? If you don't know, Operation Valkyrie was not just a Tom Cruise movie. It was a real event. And even though Tom Cruise played the wonderful Catholic, very faithful man, Klaus von Stauffenberg, and who's the guy? Tom, what's his name? Tom, he played the other guy that was an officer. Tom Whitman? It's not Whitman. It'll come to me in a moment. A British actor. Had a great cast for that film. Remember, in Operation Valkyrie, They executed the secretaries, too. They killed them all. And again, I just remind people, read the 1775 Second Continental Congress Articles of War. And I think it'd be very educational for people to read it. And whereas legal reinforcements have been ordered and are soon expected for the declared purpose of compelling these colonies to submit to the operation of the said acts, which hath rendered it necessary and an indispensable duty for the express purpose of securing and defending these colonies and preserving them in safety against all attempts to carry the said acts into execution, that an armed force be raised sufficient to defeat such hostile designs, and preserve and defend the lives, liberties, and immunities of the colonists. I think this is very important for people to understand. For the due regulating and well ordering of which, okay, so we're talking about an invasion force, a war that's soon to happen. We're raising an army to defend ourselves. Here are the rules this army will be governed by. Article 5 was written for Mark Kelly, for Slotkin, Snow, and the rest of the gang, Deluzio. Any officer or soldier, again, a member of Congress is an officer of the United States. Any officer or soldier who shall begin, excite, cause, or join in any mutiny or sedition in the regiment, troop, or company to which he belongs, or in any other regiment, troop, or company of the Continental Forces, either by land or sea, or in any part, post, detachment, or guard, on any presence whatsoever, shall suffer such punishment as by general court-martial shall be ordered. The Second Continental Congress considered that there would be men like General Charles Lee, who was a traitor, a mutinist. He wanted Washington's command, is what he wanted. He didn't really want to betray the U.S. He wanted Washington. Think of Washington as Trump. He wanted Trump, Washington, gone. He thought that he should have been made CIC, and he wasn't. Benedict Arnold carried it out to another degree by selling the plans to what he thought was a British informant to West Point and how you could invade it and take it over. Any officer, non-commissioned officer, or soldier who being present at any mutiny or sedition does not use his utmost endeavors to suppress the same, or come into the knowledge of any mutiny or intended mutiny, note intended mutiny. We're not conspiring to get anybody to combine. We were reminding them of the order. No, you're conspiring to effect a mutiny. Does not, without delay, give information thereof to the commanding officer shall be punished by order of a general court-martial according to the nature of his offense. That time was death. Still is. This is Article 5 and Article 6 of the Articles of War from 1775. So Maggie doesn't have to go looking for it. You can find this kind of stuff easily. The journals of the Continental Congress at Avalon Law Library. If you're looking for Founding Father stuff, it's a great place to turn, is the Avalon Law Library. And I just want to reiterate the point. They're not playing a game here. They're serious. Take them seriously. When they end their little diatribes, you Trump wants me executed. He oughta. With don't give up the ship. And all said the exact same way. Folks, we're not stupid. That's code. It is an ongoing operation. Can we employ our vainglorious intelligence agencies and the FBI to spy on these guys and find out what they're up to? Who are they? I demand. I want her text messages. I want that witch's. I want her email. I want to know who they're talking about and who they're talking to. So that's what I think is going on. Todd Blanche played number 11. Okay, what did I just say? Deputy AG was okay. He's asked what I just told you, and he pretty much said what I just said, but he said it as a lawyer. Watch.
Well, the investigation would absolutely be under what their intent was in saying this. And the question, we've all watched this a lot today, and the question you have to ask yourself is, what is their intent? What is the reason that they all went on a video and encouraged young men and women to defy court orders without even giving a hint of what's illegal, without even giving any suggestion of what law or what order they're being asked to violate? You cannot do that in this country, especially if you're a leader. And so what does the investigation look like? I think they should be held to account. I think that those congressmen should be required to answer questions and to answer questions about why they did what they did. And the American people deserve that, and so does President Trump.
What have I always told you? Jeff Johnson on the Dude Maker hotline. Jeff Johnson, what have I always told you? What power is the Attorney General of the United States discharging?
The president's power.
Thank you, sir. Good answer. I knew you would get it right. Dude,
well, I've only listened to you for like 18, 20 years. I mean, I should know something.
I've heard your Constitution show too. You know this. You studied it too. You know it's the correct answer.
I know.
We missed your stovetop stuffing, bro.
I was in a strange position last night. I wasn't on the panel, and I didn't like it. I'm going to be real honest. I didn't like it.
You know what I thought was funny?
But I figured it out.
Okay.
I'm going to be, even if I know nothing about the subject, I can come on and play the village idiot. I played the village idiot very well in the chat room last night.
For those of you that missed the Thanksgiving Throwdown, it was a lot of fun. Wasn't it fun? It was a fun show.
It was a fun show.
It was a fun show. So Jeff doesn't cook, so I found some old stovetop stuffing commercials, and I said, well, here's Jeff Johnson's contribution. And then in good spirit, you followed it up with a can of Heinz turkey gravy, which
and you missed my boxed potatoes.
Oh!
I don't think you even saw that one.
No, I didn't see it, but it was very funny, and it was in good spirit. We're still, Maggie's mom got wind of what we were talking about, and Maggie's mom goes, turkeys don't have hips. The hell is Jacqueline talking about?
Well, they got thighs and drums, but I've never heard hips. That was a new one on me last night.
I've never heard hips either.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to change the subject. I was going to try to get done quickly so you could move on. This is becoming a Friday thing because no one else will call in, and this is a talk radio show.
Yes, it
Someone
is.
has to call in.
Darn it.
I don't know what I got to do to get someone to call in once in a while.
You just
did it. Trying. So, going back to what you're just talking about this code, this don't give up the ship. You remember this one? The long sobs of the violins of autumn. And then there was John has a long mustache. You remember that?
No, No.
That was
I mean, I do,
D-Day.
but I can't.
D-Day. They were shooting these messages to the people in France, the resistance. This is coming. Okay, this is your message. Now you know this is going to happen. So, it's not unheard of. This don't give up the ship could obviously be, letting resistance or cells of these Antifa or whoever out there to know what they need to do.
Well, I think that you'd be foolish not to think that you'd be foolish and naive not to think that the coup is continuing, because they all end all their videos with the same exact statement. That, to me, is code. And, I'm one of the few people that picked up on. Remember, the coup that inserted Biden wasn't official until they got him sworn in January. So remember, Biden in all of those public appearances, there are like 24 of them, twixt November the 3rd and January the 20th, what did he end every single one of them with? And God bless our troops.
Yep.
And I remember, Jeff, I kept saying, folks, this is a coup. This is an operation. This is the code that says that the regime change is a go. The people are in position. So if I'm the Trump administration right now, and I don't put anything past these Democrat bastards, until you stop, or until I stop you, saying that don't give up the ship at the end of every one of your messages is communicating to everyone that's involved in this coup that the operation is ongoing and we are a go.
Yep, I 100% agree. At this point, Trump's in a corner. He has to do something, or it quite literally, it could be all over.
And, he's also facing that he has organized insurrections, basically, from the government of at least 5 states, by my count. Can you tell me? You and I agree on almost everything politically. We have differences on how it gets done and who's going to do it. But can you tell me of any president in the history of the United States, outside of Lincoln, that had to deal with a political situation like this one? Because I can't think of one.
I can't think of one either. And Lincoln was different anyway, because those states legally seceded. They
Correct.
did what we did to Great Britain. They declared their independence. They made a new confederation, and they made their own thing. They had their own constitutions, states, and they had their own Confederate Constitution. I mean, they were a new power. They were a different country.
That's right.
So that really doesn't even fit into this whole thing. But no, I can't think of any time in our history that there was this open insurrection by a number of states.
And then by actual members of the United States Congress. You know, Jefferson accused former Vice President Burr of treason. He was accused by John Marshall, basically, who had to preside over the trial. So the accusation was that he was conspiring with the Mexicans to form basically a power state, and to use the Mexican army to take over, to basically march on very young Mordor on the Potomac, and to install a new government. That's supposedly what Burr was conspiring to do. Now, it is true that Burr did meet with the Mexicans. That is true. There is no evidence to suggest, though, that he was going to commit that treason. But you know what? Jefferson still had him accused and tried. The vice president. So don't tell me like it's unprecedented. No, it's not. It actually has happened. Do you know that they would have tried him for treason? Do you know that first Supreme Court Justice James Wilson, who I mentioned earlier of Pennsylvania, did you know that the federal marshals were pursuing him because he took a bribe, basically, and the bribe was on a case that the SCOTUS was supposed to hear, and Wilson was going to basically commit treason because he was going to side with the foreign power. Did you know that there were U.S. marshals that were pursuing James Wilson, who signed the Declaration, signed the Articles of Confederation, signed the Constitution, helped Pennsylvania ratify the Constitution, that President Washington had dispatched U.S. Marshals to arrest him, and they were going to bring him to Mordor, and they were going to try him for treason? Did you know that?
I did not.
And
that is something I never heard.
You know what happened? James Wilson died in a tavern outside of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, hiding in the storeroom while the U.S. Marshals were in the front of the house. True story. Jeff, I got to go. Great to hear from you on Free Phone Friday. Okay, buddy.
All right. Have a great day. Love you, brother.
Okay, man. Love you back. Midter Monday, stand by. We'll come back to do some Free Phone Friday stuff when we come back. Don't go away, folks.
I need something to listen to challenge my faith and tickle my not-so-nice funny bone.
Well, you won't hear anything about Monday's
Trump, the King Dude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the King Dude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there, you didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Fresca?
the Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Music loud, women warm. I've been king to rap since I was born. I never tolerate, I don't care. And you may look the other way, but we can try to understand. A New York Times don't make no man. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking. And we're staying alive, staying alive.
Does Nancy Grace think that the stepbrother did it? I think the stepbrother did it too. What I'm talking about, folks, as we rejoin. Thank you very much for being with us here on the Mike Church Show on a Free Phone Friday. Love to all of you, long-suffering Crusaders. Thanks to Elizabeth Wigginton for a wonderful donation. But by the way, that reminds me.
We can try to understand the New York Times don't make no man.
I want to thank Will Schrader. Thank you, Will. And of course, Bob Niedert. Somehow every month, Mr. Niedert finds a way to scrape a couple $100 together. And God bless you, Bob, and your wife, because I can see that's a woman's handwriting that fills the checkout. Bob Niedert goes to the mailbox and sends a donation check and whatever amount almost every month with the memo Crusade Radio Guild donation, and mails it to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana 70447. Received a check yesterday from listener and longtime Crusader Will Schrader. Thank you, Will. So it's great that the snail mail spot is working. People are responding. No, quickly, because I want to get to better money, because he's going to start sending Maggie hate mail and hate messages.
He's already mad at me.
Yeah, I know he's mad at you because you wouldn't say good things about Washington's eggnog.
Correct.
Okay. So everybody needs to know why he's mad. We were talking about this beautiful young girl. Her family goes on a cruise. Now, did she get thrown overboard? How did she die? I didn't see the.
They haven't released that just yet.
Okay.
But the house cleaner, the housekeeper, came in to the little cabin, and she was stuffed underneath the mattress, wrapped in a sheet with life jackets on top of her.
Yeah. Okay, it's coming to me now. This little monster, we believe of a stepbrother, killed his stepsister. Stuffed her under his bed, basically, in the ship cabin. Spent the night there like nothing happened. And like Maggie said, it wasn't until the hired helper or whatever goes in there to clean the room that she's finds a body. Just another tragedy. You know, when you start doing all of these moms, murders, and mysteries cases. And by the way, if you want the crusade to get out to new people and new listeners, a great way to do it is Moms, Murders, and Mysteries. Lots of people love their true crime podcast, and we got a really good one, we think. So even if you don't listen to it, share it with people that you know are true crime junkies. I think that they'll like it. In any event, there's so many deranged people. I still can't believe we're going to do this episode in the next day or so. This Robert Moore character. Robert Brown. I don't have the words to describe someone that's capable of what he did. Especially what he did to this poor little innocent 13-year-old girl, Heather Dawn, ironically, Church. Let's go to the Dude Maker hotline. So, Moms, Murders, and Mysteries, download them, and you can listen to all of the episodes commercial-free if you're a Founders Pass member at crusadechannel.com in the podcast section. Midter Monday, you need to stop appearing on these programs with chips on your shoulder.
Chip. Well, I'll give you a good excuse, Mike. Right now, I am in a parking lot changing a tire on the trailer, so you can't hear me. Well, you know, I got good reason to have chips.
Okay. Yeah, but not at Maggie, just because she didn't want eggnog.
Wasn't so much Maggie as I got, of all people, me saying this, how pedestrian you people are.
Pedestrian.
Well, let's put more rum in it. You well know that good eggnog is not just rum.
I didn't say that it was just rum.
No, I didn't, but I heard several people, just got to put more rum in it. Well, yeah, if you buy that crap in the store out of a carton, then yeah, you have to. You're right.
Yeah, you buy that Pennsylvania Dutch garbage.
Well, people don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what they're talking about. But that's okay.
I don't put rum in my eggnog. I put bourbon.
Well, it's not just bourbon. You put bourbon.
I put bourbon, rum, and rum. But if I'm going to add anything to it afterwards, it's going to be bourbon. It ain't going to be rum.
Yeah. And then you put brandy in it also. But that's another topic. So the other one, I'm sorry, I was messing with turkeys last night. I was partly listening.
I said
that all you guys in your cooking and this and that, you missed the most important thing as usual.
Okay. And
yeah. What is that? Whether the turkey was frozen or not.
Oh, well, no one said get a frozen turkey, so it was by omission, not by affirmation.
Oh, I didn't think it was by malice. I just said you guys this and that, and cut the breast and split the breast and dissect the breast. And I'm sorry, Jacqueline, but the big thing. What's the big thing? You gotta know why things work with a turkey.
You have to know why bones work on a turkey, mister. You keep right on quoting General Chef rules, Mr. Savick. Miss Jacqueline, you keep right on quoting hip rules about turkey hips.
I want to know if he thinks they have.
So look, you butchered a lot of turkeys. Do they have hips?
No.
No! Thursday night throwdown moves to Friday morning. Jacqueline has been served.
Well, you can call them hips.
She sent all of us in the Signal chat room a Collier's Encyclopedia definition with very long Latin words. The hip bone connected to the pelvic bone connected to of the anatomy of the turkey. So no, there is a hip bone. Okay, if you think about it, how does the turkey ambulate? Because they do walk upright. So they do have legs, true. And they do have some sort of a pelvic bone, true. or basically the knob of a pelvic bone, right? Kind of like you and I have the socket, so it goes into your pelvis. So they do have some sort of a pelvis. So I guessed in the conventional sense that where the ball meets that sort of pelvic bone, that is a hip. It's a hip joint.
I'll tell you what, when you're cutting up a bunch of them, you don't care. I sent Maggie some pictures.
She's putting them in.
Okay. They're not. I don't think they're too happy right now, but that's okay.
Now you're changing the tire on a trailer because you're hauling turkeys to the slaughter. Or what are you hauling?
They're already gone, but we lost the tire on the way up, and I am putting the spare on right now.
All right. Well, at least
my good buddy Brian watches it.
Well, at least
I used his. He was kind enough to let me use his truck. I mean, what can I do?
Well, at least it's not 13 below zero and everything's not frozen.
Could be worse.
That's
Could
right.
be raining.
It could. Don't say that.
But sorry I missed the throwdown miniature, but duty calls, you know.
Well, duty calls, and you were doing your duty. So, for those of you that don't know, Mittermundi has his own. Now, how many turkeys did you have this year?
Survival, I had 87.
Wow.
I just took 81. I just took 81. We just dropped off. 6 of them were kind of small. Plus, I already have 3 or 4 orders for Christmas, so I'm going to get them a little bigger.
So you want a fresh turkey? You don't want one that's frozen. You know, it was funny. Did you hear? I was playing the old Butterball turkey television commercials from the 1970s. Did you catch any of them?
Yeah, I heard a lot of them. Yep.
It was. You can see. I understand now why, and to see a Butterball turkey commercial from like 1958. That's how long that brand name has been around. And I think who owns that now? Is that Tyson that owns Butterball, the trademark now? Probably.
Probably. If not Tyson, Purdue, but I don't know which one.
Swift. It's either Swift or Tyson. They came up with that name because the term, you just think about it, Butterball, and you look at the commercials that in the original when they started publishing or making their video commercials and their magazine ads, the turkey does kind of look like a ball, doesn't it?
You package it up right.
The way that they...
Turkeys, yeah, modern turkeys, yeah, because, we're Americans. We want big breasts and big legs and big thigh. Yeah.
That's right. Maxwell Farms now owns Butterball. Okay. But it calls in to mind the question, or it puts you in the frame of mind, if you will, of like a butter ball. So you think, ooh, that must be a good turkey. It's got butter in it. Ooh, it's a ball, and you slide right into it. I thought that the funniest part of the entire thing last night, I thought that the funniest thing, I don't know if you heard this, was let me see if I can find it. Did you hear the Falstaff beer commercial?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so for those of you that didn't hear or see this last night, Maggie can grab my screen. Okay, this is from 1967.
Yes. We are coming your way. Compliments to Falstaff Beer. Tomorrow, see the Chicago Bears and the Packers at Green Bay. And don't forget the traditional Thanksgiving Day game at Detroit. The Lions against San Francisco. Both games right here on KMOX-TV. Enjoy it all with the beer that has been a tradition at Thanksgiving for over 4 generations. If you're expecting a crowd, serve Falstaff Golden Tap Draft Beer in quart bottles with the twist-off cap. Most convenient. And the beer inside, the most drinkable draft ever brewed.
I love the guy's voice. The most drinkable
Tastes
draft
enough
ever
to satisfy, and yet it's always light enough for more. Get Falstaff Golden Tap Draft Beer in quarts or pints, and enjoy 3 coast-to-coast traditions next Thursday: the Thanksgiving holiday, the football game, and Falstaff, the choicest product of the brewer's art.
Okay, what is so funny about that is that's a white guy who's promoting the sale of 40s. That's a 40. He called it a quart. That's a 40. And he promoted it with a convenient twist-off tap. And I was asking a question. We only had 20-some people in the chat room last night. We have 60-some odd right now, and hundreds and thousands listening or watching around the globe. Is Falstaff beer still made? You know, they had a Falstaff brewery, Dan, I think you know this, in New Orleans.
Oh, no, that I didn't know they had one down there. I mean, I remember Jack's, but...
No. It's on Broad Street. You can still see it from the Claiborne Avenue overpass. You can see it. It's that's apartment. But they left the sign. They left Bitter Monday. This is how you would see it back in the 60s and 70s. You at nighttime, it was a giant lit Falstaff. Went from, it was like the tower on top of the building, 100 feet tall. Looks like a cell phone tower today, right? And then you get an Falstaff, lit up bright neon lights, and you could see it from miles away, anywhere in New Orleans. Maggie says she has a picture. Well, that's it. That's it. That's the big one. And that's the Falstaff Brewery. There it is. And they turned it into they don't make beer there anymore, but they turned it into apartment buildings.
Well, the Jack's Brewery, they turned into a mall, so.
Sure did. Jack's Brewery is a mall, and Dixie Brewery is I don't know what. Well, Minter Money, let me let you get to changing that tire so we can end the program. Thanks for calling in on a free...
We're ready to go. We'll see what happens if we make it. If we don't make it, I'll call you.
All right, let me know.
Take care.
All right, that's Minter Dan Mundy there, one of our farmers for Free Farm Friday. We're going to have a little bit of Free Farm Friday. Brian couldn't make it today. He did send me pictures, though, of the turkeys that they slaughtered yesterday. You should see those kids of his. See, when you raise children around and they grow up watching chickens being slaughtered all the time, they don't think anything of it. You know, the little girls were there. They're helping to pluck the feathers off, the remaining feathers. It's cute. It's cute. Yeah, that's the Falstaff Apartments that you can see there in that picture that Maggie put into the chat room. My question was, though, is Falstaff still brewed? I know that about 20 years ago, I want to say it was Adolf Coors Company, started buying up the old mass-produced American beer brands.
So Pabst Brewing Company.
Pabst.
Discontinued it in 2005.
Okay, so Pabst bought it. And now Pabst is still made. They still brew Pabst. Ugh. Kid Rock loves Pabst. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He thinks it's cool, so he wears the T-shirt. Pabst. So the Pabst Company bought a. We could do an old show. This is a Friday, Thursday night throwdown. I think we're going to do We're going to do classic TV commercials on the next Thursday night throwdown. What a great topic. Think of the old breweries that when you and I were little children and don't exist anymore. But the brand names are still there because, Pabst bought them up. Stroh's. How many of you remember Stroh's beer? Stroh's. Heileman's Old Style, which I do believe was finally killed. Falstaff. There were some beers that were made in Texas that were absolute crap, like Pearl. He drank Pearl in a can, David Allen Coe saying Pearl. How many of you remember older brand names like Lowenbrau? What happened to Lion's Brew or Lowenbrau? Schlitz. Schlitz. Now, I want to say that Schlitz malt liquor in 40s is still made by somebody. There are all these old brands of beer. And folks, the thing that's amazing about this to me is that the people that made those beers, they basically either made a Pilsner or they made a very weak version of an American ale. Most of it was Pilsner, though. Very few lagers. And the reason they don't make lagers is because it's harder to brew. It's harder to age. You can't get above a certain temperature. The yeast will die, etc. Think about, though, if you taste one of those, like Jack's beer with, awful. What have the kids done to beer today, though? They've made it either sour or it tastes like a pine cone. I don't want a pine cone. I want a beer. And they put so many flippin' hops in it that you can't even taste the malt anymore. All you taste is pine. And it's vile. It's disgusting. So I have to go out of my way. I live in Louisiana. My reliable that I can get any day of the week is Abita Amber. Until they went supporting trannies, I used to drink Catahoula Common from that little brewery. But then when they decided to have a drag queen, bring your kid and drink beer with drag queen stripper night, well, there went the Catahoula Common. Ain't drinking that anymore. So it's either Shinerbach or Abita if you want to have just a regular ale. And I love my Abita Amber. Of course, we love the Boot here. And we absolutely can do a microbrew show on it. And there's so many little breweries that are out there. In Lafayette, they had the Bayou Teche 31 beer. And they make all kind of beer at the Bayou Teche Brewery. It's a wonderful thing that's happening in the United States with craft brewing. In North Carolina, up in Boone, North Carolina, in the western and the mountainous part of North Carolina, so many microbreweries. Tampa, Florida, is like the microbrew capital of Earth. You can't swing a dead cat by the tail and not hit a microbrew in Tampa. Hell, there's an app. They have an app for it. So it's a wonderful topic, and we'll get into it. Let me see here. What have not we heard from Magdalene Rose, our political affairs contributor, who's been doubling as doing the news this week because Janet Huxley is remodeling her kitchen. And said, the equipment was offline and there was noise and contractors swinging hammers and running saws and what have you. Magdalene, the Democrats challenged the commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief has responded, and now the Democrats basically demand that the commander-in-chief stop defending the office of the presidency and his role as commander-in-chief. I think that there actually is a coup. They're ending all of their little videos with, "Don't give up the ship." That's code for the operation is ongoing. What are you hearing about what they've done?
Well, I think it's interesting that Trump responded the way he did. He made it clear he thought it was an issue, and then immediately on Twitter and other platforms, but mainly Twitter, people were saying we have to impeach him for what he said because he's pushing violence. I think that this is, I don't know if it's a hard plot or if it's just something that can come out of it, but I think that they might be using this as a vehicle to begin discussing impeachment. Because after the election results earlier this month, they think that they're in a better position, they might be, than we originally thought for election victories. getting Trump to respond to this, to make it out like he's perpetrating violence or saying we should have violence, I think could be the stepping stone in trying to force another impeachment trial.
Yeah, well, that's going nowhere until at least January of 2027. Nothing's going to happen on it. You're not. There's no way an impeachment proceeding is going to be brought with Johnson as Speaker.
No, but I think they're setting the stage for it. And something that Democrats were saying as well, like in the commentary circuit, you can tell went out to all the commentators, was, well, why would President Trump want them to go forward with orders that are not true? But it's this idea of orders that are not true, orders that are not correct, that Democrats are now the sole deciders of that is a very dangerous, ridiculous concept.
Well, Maggie, do you still have Maxine Waters? Can you find it? I would like to hop in the KingDude's Wayback Machine, and I would like to go back to the summer of 2019. No, actually, this is the early winter of 2020. Democrat Congresswoman Maxine Waters, at several events, this is just one of them, said this.
We can't protect the children. We can't protect anybody. If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
You push back on them, you tell them you're not welcome, you get up in their face. We know that this happened. I said this earlier. If Trump 1.0, and she did that in several events, if Trump, and so did others, if Trump 1.0 would have responded to that and demanded that the Democrat Party bring this to an end, censure her, take her committee assignments away, she didn't belong in the House of Representatives, talk about inciting political violence. I said this earlier, Magdalene, maybe Charlie Kirk would still be alive today, but nothing was done.
Yeah.
He has to act.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. And when she did that, I remember Nancy Pelosi was in leadership, and she was asked repeatedly, are you going to do anything about this? Are you going to take a stand? Are you even going to condemn it? And all she did was a weak little statement or multiple statements about how we don't want violence and things. Maxine Waters should have been expelled from Congress.
Yep.
She is directly responsible for then the crowds surrounding Sarah Huckabee Sanders in D.C., Rand Paul being attacked in D.C., there were real problems that originated from that action. And then Democrats at the state level began to say things like that. AOC backed her. So when Donald Trump is told he shouldn't respond to these kinds of things, there are no Democrats that have been recently assassinated within the last 60 years over this. It's our people. And when it's our people, we're still supposed to be quiet about it. It's a ridiculous thing.
And by the way, one of the not only are they repeating the code that the operation is still a go, don't give up the ship. They're also all of them, all six of them, exact same line in their statements, exactly verbatim. I refuse to be intimidated. There's a script writer who's writing this. This is a conspiracy, Magdalene. This is organized. This isn't just six people that were having coffee and say, hey, I got an idea. This is put together. And the fact that they keep saying, don't give up the ship, that's code. The operation is ongoing. If you're Trump, if you're Bondi, if you're, we played Todd Blanche just a moment ago. If you're Todd Blanche or any of these, you have to assume that there actually is something that is afoot. It's not over yet. And any response that you make to it, if it's not top secret or you don't want to make it public, you have to assume that that anyone that has access to that level of intelligence is going to know what it is that you're doing to respond. You have to revoke their security clearances. You got to start telling people, no, you can't. No, she's out. I'm revoking your security clearance. You need to tell John Thune, remove him. Mark Kelly needs to be removed from the Intelligence Committee. Slotkin needs to be removed from the Justice or the Judiciary Committee. You tell Thune, tell Schumer, you need to remove her. If you don't remove her, I will. You have to. If you don't stand up to these bullies, you know what they're doing here. This is a test. This is a test to see if anything is going to happen. And if there's going to be any pushback whatsoever, is anyone going to be arrested? Is there going to be any official action or sanction or whatever? If there isn't, then you can expect a full-on escalation. They have people in positions. I said this earlier. There are people, Magdalene, in positions that are ready right now to test the theory, who are going to refuse a completely licit and legal order and say it's illegal. Watch. That's the next step. And then they all get to rally and say, see, we told you he's trying to kill American citizens.
Well, and I think Pam Bondi has to take a harder line here. Johnson does what Trump tells him to. Johnson's a capable person, I think, in the last 6 months, much more so than he was previously. But John Thune has been weak on a lot of things. John Thune and Pam Bondi have to draw a line here. Trump shouldn't be there alone saying this is a problem, and along with Vance. It shouldn't just be them, and increasingly it feels like they're the only two who are going to actively defend themselves in this process. I don't understand what Thune is doing. He lets a lot of things go. He lets ridiculous statements happen by senators. He never calls for censoring. It's a mess. And then you look at Nancy Mace, who is completely out of control in Congress. I mean, she's completely out of her mind. She's perpetrating, she peddles conspiracies, and she's trying to get Republicans to have their majority be even less through her own personal issues with other Republican members of Congress. So there's a lack of control going on amongst Republican caucus members. I would like to see that sort of leash of them tightened a little bit.
What's Nancy Mace's latest conspiracy theory? Because I just stopped watching. I just removed her from my feed because I'm like, you are a crazy woman. I don't even want you. When I scroll through, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. What's the latest?
Nancy Mace is trying to get Corey Mills censored and thrown out for unethical behavior. She says that he's an abuser of women, and those things could be true. My problem with Nancy Mace is that there's always very little evidence and a lot of hyperbole. She's like trying to remake herself as a crusader for women.
Again, I'm not following her. She was trying to remake herself as governor of South Carolina, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's trying to make herself as governor of South Carolina, and even more than that, she's trying to say that she is going to stand up for women in all areas, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Let me tell you something. Buddy. I met Nancy Mace. I was standing with Congressman Ron Paul in 2013 in Alexandria, Virginia, after an LPAC event. I knew Congressman Paul very well, and I was standing there with it might have been 2012, with Congressman Paul, and I met two young people that day. You know who they were? Thomas Massey, Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace was introduced to me, and then by then, the people were mobbing Ron Paul because it was at his event, and he goes and does whatever. So I'm being introduced to Nancy Mace, and she's introduced to me as a graduate of the Citadel. And I'm going, and I went, oh, God. Shannon Faulkner is like standing right in front of me. And of course, if you don't know who Shannon Faulkner is the hobgoblin female villainess that took down the Citadel. She got the Supreme Court ultimately to force one of the nation's most prestigious military institutions, the Citadel, 150 glorious year history, to admit women. Well, after Shannon Faulkner broke down the barrier with the court, guess who was next? Nancy Mace. So Nancy Mace is also one that went after Shannon Faulkner and is alleged graduate of the Citadel. And so she's bragging about how, I was no Shannon Faulkner, but after Shannon broke the barrier down, I'm like, so you're saying the barrier should have been broken down. I never liked her from the start. And like I said, I knew her and she was just like an activist. She was just an activist, and apparently she had libertarian leanings, or she thought that she could there was some benefit for her to be part of LPAC, the Liberty Political Action Committee that Ron started and Rand joined, which I don't think is in existence any longer. But there she was, boasting and bragging to a room full of basically libertarians about taking down the Citadel and being one of the first females to graduate from the Citadel. And I'm like, I remember thinking to myself, why are you bragging about that? There's a lot of things you can brag about. That's not one of them.
No, she's a real nightmare, and I don't say that like easily, but she does nothing except tell us how bad Republican men are. And I understand that she has a lot of trauma and all of that. I respect that. Congress is not the place for that. She has, after allegedly hearing some of the Epstein testimony, which other Republicans said they did not hear, she had a complete crying breakdown on the floor of the House and came out teary-eyed and a mess. And even the victims have said she moved some of the discussion away from them onto her. I don't think she's completely all there, to be honest, in Congress. And I don't want to see her as governor of South Carolina. Look, Nikki Haley is a lot better than her, and that's saying.
Well, this is interesting. Speaking of people from South Carolina, I don't know if you've seen the interview. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch it today. Nikki Haley's son, recently interviewed by Tucker Carlson. He's not using her last name though. He's using I guess it's his dad's last name. Nayland? Is that his last name?
Yeah. Yep.
Nayland. Did you know that he's a recent convert to the faith?
I did. I've been following him quite a bit. I think that he's very eloquent, and also he's sort of owning that he's a political Nepo baby. He's not hiding from it, and that's refreshing.
No, he shouldn't. I mean, how do you hide that you're Nikki Haley's son? But he has violent disagreements with his mother about Israel and foreign policy, and that's what he was talking to Tucker about.
Yep, and he has actually, I remember when she was running in the last presidential Republican primary, when Tim Scott came out and endorsed Trump, he said, oh, look, it's Senator Judas on Twitter. And when he tweeted that, I was like, oh, this kid is not a neocon. You don't tweet out Senator Judas about somebody you've known pretty much your whole life from your mother's home state if you are a wishy-washy Republican. I think that it's interesting because he's not in the Nick Fuentes camp, but he's very much in the sanity about economics. And he said an interesting thing. He said that social immigrants get angry at him for not being loyal to immigrants and their issues. And he said, why would I be? That was 60 years ago when my grandparents came here. I don't owe immigrants anything. And people are like, I really identify with that, especially Republicans who come from immigrants.
I tell you, there's a growing sentiment out there. Just so you'll know, I can make the announcement. I'm going to try to work it out. It's a technological hurdle that we have to cross. But James Fishback has agreed to be my special guest on Wednesday's Mike Church Show for an hour. I think he's going to announce. I think he's going to take on Byron Donald. And he's got a decent following. I mean, he doesn't have Byron's following, but he's not a candidate yet. And I think that there's an issue that I think the president. I understand where the president's coming from, and I appreciate his position. I just happen to disagree with him. And I think that in one small instance, I think he's right, but he needs to be. Trump tends to paint many things, and we all do this, with a very broad brush. So when he says H-1B immigrants, I don't think he means. I think he's backed off whatever promise he made or whatever he said at Mar-a-Lago to the CEO of Hyatt or Marriott or to Steve Wynn or whatever. Now, the pipeline of cheap labor from foreign countries will continue. I'm gonna let it continue. I think he's backed off that, and I think that Stephen Miller and others are responsible for that. If he would be specific and say there are specific skilled positions that have to be carried out in Company X relocating from Taiwan back to Texas, we're going to have to allow them in the first couple of years at least to bring their management team and their chief engineers, etc. We're going to train and educate our people to do it, but they're just not there yet. Now, I don't think that MAGA people would be upset at that and would go along with it. Do you agree?
I agree. I don't think that that's the issue. I think that he doesn't have specific enough language, like you said. And I'll say this about Byron Donaldson. I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree that he has a bigger platform than James Fishback. Because if you look at him and his socials and his following, it's all about being the governor of Florida. Meanwhile, if you look at James Fishback, I've seen clips of him talking about the economy go viral on Instagram. So I think, oddly enough, Byron might have more money, he might have more support within the Republican Party, but if you're looking at who's making more of an impact digitally, I think it's James Fishback, and I think Fishback knows that. Also, Byron, he comes across as very much professionally a candidate.
Yep.
People don't like that anymore, and Fishback doesn't come across that. As long as the Republican with good ideas wins the Florida primary and becomes governor, I don't care. I don't have an unending loyalty to Byron. I'm not really sure why it has to be him. I just want it to be the best person possible.
I just appreciate the fact, and again, I sent James a message, and I told him, I said, dude, and he and I aren't communicating. Please don't misunderstand. He didn't respond to me, but I know he saw it. And I said, brother, you're so good at what you're doing in the public sphere. Just keep doing it there. If you become a candidate, man, it's a whole new world that you enter into. And you're entering then into the Republican Party world of Ron DeSantis and Byron Donaldson. Now, this is an interesting thing, Magdalene. What does Governor DeSantis do? Dude, he's kingmaker at this point. Does he? And I know that he likes Byron. I don't know that he's Team Byron yet. Is Governor, because he's saying, Governor DeSantis is like, we're going to make it illegal. You can't have no H-1B people in our schools. No more. You're not coming here. I think that it's sounding to me like Governor DeSantis is more Fishback than he is Donald's.
Well, I think that's true, and I don't think that DeSantis is all in for Donald. I don't understand why it has to be Donald. On a political level, on a policy level, there are a lot of good candidates, and I honestly think that DeSantis should be listened to more about who should run for governor than Trump. Trump might know Florida, but DeSantis knows what it takes to turn Florida red. And let us remember, back in the recent midterm elections, DeSantis was the only one who had a victory. We won a governorship in Nevada, a couple state house seats, and DeSantis turned Florida even more red by high double-digit margins and helped candidates down ballot. So if I'm looking at this, I would say pick the guy DeSantis thinks can assist down ballot candidates. Don't pick the guy that Trump just likes the most, because it might not be Byron. And Byron reminds me a little bit, and not because they're both black, just because of the lack of energy, of Winston Sears in Virginia. I think there's a lack of energy, and I find that concerning.
You know what? You should have these words on your lips when you talk about that. Are you ready?
Yes.
Herschel Walker.
Yes, yes.
But Herschel Walker is a great American. He's a great, and I'm sure that he is in some level. He didn't have a share of problems. They married Herschel Walker to their eternal ignominy. They handed that seat to Ossoff. They gave it to him.
Yep. And if you remember, they had Lindsey Graham for some reason as Herschel Walker's handler in interviews.
Oh.
And I kept wondering why a man running for a Senate seat in Georgia had to have the senator from South Carolina sitting next to him. And then I realized it's like they're trying to make him not sound stupid or say anything wrong. They had to give him a media handler in real time.
It's now when is I guess Florida is like Louisiana, has off-year governor election. So is it? It's in 26.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting that it's because it's not the same year. It is. It's 2 years removed from the presidential election, which is a good thing. You have another event to drive voter turnout. You can't rely on the presidency to elect a governor. I actually think that's the way it should be. I think that's a better system than having them all at the same time. But then again, that's just me. Listeners in the chat room want to know, do you personally, Mo, have you met Nylan Nylan Haley, or Nayland Haley. Have you met him?
I've
Do you know him?
communicated with him. I haven't met him in person, but I have communicated with him.
Okay. Interesting that that we are in touch with Nayland. And then see what else we have on the cut sheet here today. Oh, okay. Let's give a preview. All right. He just posted on Instagram. Moron, the con man, Kami Mandani, is on his way to Mordor. He was all smiles. I just saw the picture just flashed up. He's on my way to a White House here. And I'm wondering, okay, so this to me is this is a fun meeting. I hope they go live. I really do. If they do, I'll try and broadcast it for you guys. This to me is, okay, this is the snotty-nosed grandkid with the silver spoon who's been given everything in his life and is destroying the family legacy because he screws everything up. Meeting with Grandpa, who's going to say, sit down and shut up, I'm talking. Is that how this is going to, do you envision or imagine that that's how this is going to go?
I do. And, you know, my mom is from New York. She lived her whole life, and she said something interesting about Mom Dami. She's like, I've seen people run in New York who are genuine socialists, and then I've seen socialists who've grown accustomed to a certain standard of living running. And that's who Mom Dami strikes her as. I think Mom Dami likes nice things. He comes from immense wealth and power and Hollywood prestige. This is not some dude from, like, the slums of anywhere. He has private villas in Uganda. So Trump is really good at knowing when somebody likes nice things. And I think Trump bringing him into the White House, you know what he's going to do? He's going to, like, charm him. And all of a sudden, Mom Dami's going to be like, oh, it was so nice to meet with the president. This is exactly what happened with Eric Adams. Eric Adams ran, and he was very much anti-Trump. And he was saying, I'm going to be hardline on Republicans. And aside from backing the police, I don't agree with them on anything. Cut to hanging out with Trump in the Oval. Trump has a way of charming New York mayors, and it's wonderful to watch.
Well, okay, this is another just a fascinating thing that only comes in from Galaxy Trump, the Trump cinematic universe, if you will. And as you mentioned, the connections. Caitlin Collins now is like flipping. She's like turning on CNN. Yeah. She's the one that brought up to Jasmine Crockett. You really, you didn't say they? I'm pretty sure you did. Here, let's watch the tape. Caitlin Collins was the one, you know, Trump tried, he basically picked her up and threw her out back in February or March. And then I think it was you who told us the story, right? That she was on Air Force One and he walked up to her and struck a conversation up with her, right?
Yes, he loves her. And she says things like, he asks me how my day is. And if I need anything from the kitchen, he's totally playing her, and I love it. and you can see that this is now this is what he does, and this is what he's going to do to Mondani. And Mondani thinks he's going to go in there and con him. You're talking to the Don. You're talking to the guy that wrote The Art of the Deal. You're talking to the guy. Okay, I'm going to go. You're just a Trump fanboy. You're right. I've been an admirer of President Trump since the mid '80s. Trump was going to build what we call Trump Tower today. Do you know this story? I'll just give you a Cliff Note version because Maggie's looking at her watch and she wants to go. Trump is going to build Trump Tower. He had a small problem. The lot that he wanted was occupied. There was a store on it called the Bonwit Teller store. Now, there was more than one the Bonwit Teller stores, but it was like it was the crown jewel. It was actually a beautiful piece of architecture, but it wasn't a high rise. I think it was 12, 15 stories or whatever. And Trump wanted the Bonwit Teller story. Trump did something no one expected. You know how he ultimately got Bonwit Teller to cave. Trump bought the building next door and said, there's no rule that says that above your 12 stories, that the air above is yours. So I bought the building next door and the one on the other side, and I'm just going to build a bridge on top of you. This is true. This is how it happened. And it was a court case, and he won.
The Bonwit teller sued him. He said, and was over the airspace above the building. Does everyone follow me? So imagine that the Bonwit teller building is 15 stories tall. On either side are 30-story tall buildings. Trump made the case that the airspace above the Bonwit teller building, that they didn't own it. And the court sided with him. So Bonwit teller then caved and sold him the lot. That's who you're dealing with here. And by the way, he was attacked and assaulted by the preservationists in New York, and they said that this is a classic architecture building. President Trump, Donald Trump, the developer, did something at his expense that no one expected. Okay, Dahlberger put the picture in there. I was just getting ready to mention. You see the two gargoyle-looking things at the top of the building there? They're in the middle, they're in the center, and they're on either left and right. There's like windows in between. He actually, he tried to have them, he was going to donate them to like the Guggenheim, because they said, this is a piece. He said, okay, fine, we'll take them down. They actually built scaffolding at his expense, and they were trying to remove them, and they couldn't. They couldn't remove them without breaking them. And they savaged him. That's the leftards hated him back in the day. They savaged him because they couldn't remove those two statues there, even though they tried. But that's who you're dealing with. That's why Trump Tower is where it is today, because he beat Bonwit teller in court. And Mondami's going to go in there thinking that he's going to take this guy down, or I'm going to win him over. Dude, the only winning over is going to be you. And if they let the press in at the end, you're going to know that Trump got more than Mondami did. And Trump's going to tell him, look, dude, I'm going to tell you straight up, you're not going to get a penny. Here's the way this is going to fly.
Yeah.
It's like the most anticipated meeting of the month that is November, if you ask me.
Well, and honestly, what does taking Donald Trump down even mean? When Mamdani used to say that on the campaign trail, I used to say, well, like, aside from, like, physically hurting him, what are you going to do to Donald Trump? How are you going to make life worse? His children all moved out of New York. He moved much of his business out of New York. He doesn't really go there unless he has to go to the UN, and he complains about that. So Mamdani holds no cards whatsoever. Trump holds them all, and Trump is going to charm him. And I would love to see, like, Melania Trump standing next to Mamdani, because he's not going to be mean next to her.
It will be fascinating to watch, and we will watch it. All right, Magdalene, have a great weekend. Thank you. You sound much better today, by the way.
Yes, today is much, much better. Thank you.
I'm glad that you're finally getting over it. All right, we'll see you on Monday. Folks, it's going to wrap it up for us here today, this week here on the Crusade Channel. What a week. We're trying to get to $12,000 in donations. You still make your donation in any amount at crusadechannel.com/donate. We are your Advent HQ. Advent calendars, Advent candles, St. Andrew's chaplets. Still plenty of time to get them out to you and get them to you in time for Advent. So shop with us today, shop.mikechurch.com. Don't forget to round up for charity. So, you want to make a donation, you can do it right there in the store. Well, I don't want to have all these credit cards. Well, then just go buy 16 bags of Capuchin Holy Roast coffee. Do that today. Add your St. Andrew's chaplet. And then at checkout, go like, here's an extra 100 TKD. All goes to the same account. Thank you very much in advance. I'm going to put last night's Thursday night throwdown. I've asked Shuffle 13, did you see his recipe? You said, okay. We got a couple of recipes out. My oyster dressing recipe. We have Jeff's, it sounds really good, actually. Chipotle sweet potato recipe. That'll be in there. Anyone else want to contribute a recipe, you can just send it to us, and we'll publish it on the podcast page at crusadechannel.com, and also on the YouTube page as well, or we'll link to it so you can come and get it. Have a safe and blessed, wonderful weekend. Today is the feast of the Presentation of Our Lady. And maybe I should send him a note, and I'll ask him if he'll send it to me. When you think about the Feast of the Presentation, there's a wonderful sermon that was given by my dear friend, Father Jeffrey Chambon, about 10 years ago. And when you think about the Feast of the Presentation, understand that that's Joachim and Anne, St. Joachim and St. Anne, taking Mother Mary, taking little Mary at 3. Sister said how old she was today in the saint of the day. At 3 years old, taking her to the temple and turning her over to St. John the Baptist's father, Zachariah, or St. Zachary. But the way Father Jambon tells the story is that he tells it on the Feast of the Assumption, is the Annunciation, or rather. Our Lady, she's in the temple there, instructing her on all the scriptures. You know, he draws those S's out. And so anyone to say Our Lady doesn't know what the angel's talking about, she knows, she studied the scriptures. He says, so on the Annunciation, they sent Gabriel to Our Lady as a teenage girl. And they all hanging, the angels are all up in heaven, they all looking down. God got the comets and the asteroids and the meteors, and he's going to wipe the earth out. And she say no. So the angel Gabriel will go down and she asks her the question, will you be the mother of the Redeemer? And he says, to people that aren't educated and don't know this, she was studying the scripture for a decade. She knew exactly what she was being asked to do, which makes the Annunciation just the most beautiful, amazing feast day, because she says, yes, be it done unto me. I am the handmaid of the Lord, be it done unto me according to thy word. So it's a beautiful feast day today. And by the way, to our Jewish friends, she gets dropped off at the temple, guys. St. Joachim is a Jew. St. Anne is a Jew. Our Lady, Mary, is a Jew. And they drop her off, they turn her over with other virgin girls to the head priest, or to the priest who's in rotation, because they rotated them, and it's St. Zachary at this time. And they turn her over to learn the Jewish tradition and the scriptures. It's an interesting thing there for those that say that have terrible things to say about the Mother of God and about the Mother of our Redeemer, especially those that are Jews. Why? She was a faithful Jew. Her family were phenomenal Jews. Her uncle is the chief of the temple, the chief priest. So it's a great feast to contemplate, and you can read all about it at Catholicism.org, or you can listen to Sister Maria Junipera's wonderful, beautiful reading of that today on the Saint of the Day at CrusadeChannel.com. All right. On a safe and blessed remainder of this Friday day today, and a wonderful weekend. Shop with us in the store all weekend long. And thanks for all of your prayers and support. Please say a little prayer, a little Hail Mary for my sister, for Cajun Mama, and my brother-in-law, Phil, who is undergoing a very dangerous, lengthy procedure today. My poor brother-in-law has got blockages all up his arteries from his feet to his heart, and they're going to try and, zap him today and remove some of them. So Cajun Mama is in nervous fits over this, and with good reason. So keep her in your prayers today. And my brother-in-law's name is Phil. So for Phil and Melissa, and thank you very much in advance. Folks, have a great remainder of the day. If Mondami's press conference is in the Oval Office with Trump, I will try and grab it and broadcast it here on the Crusade Channel. Upgrade your Founders Pass memberships. If you're a founding brother, by the way, you can be, and you're at $19.95, you can upgrade to the current rate of $25. Every penny counts here at the Crusade Channel. I hope that you will do that today. Thanks for all your memberships. Make sure you update your credit cards. CrusadeChannel.com. Log in, click My Account, check your card. If it's expired, please update it. God bless you and Mary keep you.